Hello and welcome to episode 90 of the Talk Nintendo podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Casey Gibson, and joining me tonight, as always, the one, the only, Mr. Perry Burkham.
We've reached the big 9-0.
Ooh-wee, yes we did.
90 weeks straight, no breaks.
And to celebrate the occasion, we have brought on host of the Nintendo News Report, Mr. Alex Kalafi.
I remember when I was at 90 episodes. Hi.
Get off our podcast.
No, it's actually funny because we did 100 Nintendo News Reports that were YouTube only, and then we restarted our numbering, so now we're at 82, because we went to iTunes.
I remember our 82nd podcast.
Yeah, so now we're at 82, 80 something. So now we're the
So
baby
we have more
compared
than
to
you.
We
is what you're saying.
prestiged, is what I'm saying, and then it looped back around. So I get a very nice emblem next to my podcast name, but you have more episodes.
That's great. That's wonderful. Prestiged.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we had you on not too long ago, and we promised you that you could come on soon for the full full experience.
Yeah.
And we thought, what better one than the E3 predictions list? Because it's hard to believe that E3 is literally 1 week. 1 week from now, we will know everything there is to know about Smash.
That's crazy. Well, probably not everything, but
Everything,
a lot.
Perry.
Yeah, everything is just gonna,
All
right.
the secret characters, just gonna give everything away.
Yeah. And unlock styles. Don't forget that.
But yeah, so we've
hope
got
Uncle
a
Grippy's in it.
jam-packed little episode here. We are going to get into what we've been playing in just a sec. We've got, of course, the eShop Roundup, and then we're going to get into all of that E3 prediction goodness alongside a couple of bets and such as well to add a little spice to that. But I think we're going to get right...
And,
ooh, you got something? Oh, the old Craigslist, huh?
yeah, and a Craigslist Roundup actually had an amazing week this week. And then we'll announce our contest winners at the end.
Woo!
Nice.
Yeah. So who's starting this out? Alex is, right?
Well,
I
I think
No.
we got some quick bites, don't we?
That's right.
You big Jimmy?
Yes. So last week I talked about some games, and I completely forgot about a game that I reviewed that week. I don't know how I did. I just did. And we're gonna talk N++ real quick. This is a game that has been out on many different things and on many different systems, and I believe it's on the DS as N+, I think. And I remember seeing this at Walmart, as one of the DS games that's still there. It's just
Still
weird.
holding on strong.
I guess. Anyway.
Well, they're
this
probably
is
charging $35 for it, I bet.
Yeah. I don't know. But this is a straight up 2D platformer. You run, you jump, and that's it. And but the huge emphasis on momentum. And it controls and plays amazing. You're a little stick ninja kind of, you're a little more detailed, but yeah, all these super a billion levels. There are so many levels that's not even funny. They're all single screen levels, and there's a huge level editor. It's all the levels were made within that level editor, and so there's literally infinite levels, in this game, and they're a lot of fun. The only thing I didn't really like about it is the bare bones aesthetics.
Isn't it just black and white?
Well,
Or am I
no,
thinking it's something different?
It might be. It might have been in the past, but there's different you can do different color palettes. But it's not just the colors. It's just just everything is just really minimalistic and it was the indie game before the indie game. So I totally get it was kind of new at its time when it came out.
It started as a Flash game, right?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, so it's I totally understand and respect it for when it came out and stuff, and it still plays great and it feels good, and like I said, it has that really good sense, kind of like Donkey Kong has that really awesome sense of momentum, and this so you know, like when you jump on when you're sliding down a wall, you can kind of hold in and like slide, like go slower, and you know, you kind of feel the friction as you're playing, and it's just a lot of fun. So I really enjoyed it. So if anyone wants to know anything more about that, you can check out my review at NintendoWorldReport.com. But yeah, other than that, that's it for my quick bite. But I believe you also have another one, Casey.
Yeah, just to touch a little bit on Runner 3 from last week, I went more in depth, but I did wrap up the single player campaign, at least the first set around, because each stage you can sort of go in, you do the gold run, and then once you clear that, you can go back in, and then there's some alternate paths which have like gems to catch to gather instead of the gold.
Yeah.
So I need to go back and do some of those, and I'm pretty sure they ramp up the difficulty, but yeah, it was fun. I really, really enjoyed it. It is definitely super hard, but it's fun to like go from the end of World 3, because there's 3 different areas in this game. So, you know, when you're pushing towards the last few levels to clear, and then going back to the first world when I was like, let me see. I know I missed a couple of gold bars along the way, and I was able to just jump in there and first try go through the full level. And of course there is some muscle memory from, because I obviously played the level, you know, but I hadn't played it in a while, and it was still pretty easy to go through. So I want to get back in there and try some of those like impossible levels, I think they're dubbed, that we saw it actually at PAX, that are like ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
Because I think I could
like the
probably
level designer, like not even able to do it himself.
Yeah, he was getting beaten up a little bit. I figured it'd probably be one of those ones where it's like you're probably just gonna have to sit there for like an hour or two to play through and beat it. But I feel like I probably could. I don't know, but I know a lot of people thought it was a little too difficult. I knew some people think it was a little too difficult, but I say it is definitely worth checking out. And I'm pretty sure they are looking into putting like an easy mode or an easy option in it. I don't know how, you know, that might take a really long time, or they might be able to do it pretty quick. Yeah, they're looking into like an easy mode or something.
Well, just put checkpoints in.
Well, that's what you would think. You would think, but I'm sure that's a lot harder than just being like, oh, just slap it in there.
Yeah, the thing about Runner 3, which I know, Alex, you loved it, right?
I love Runner 3. I might call it one of my favorites of the year so far, and I might also call it my favorite runner.
I would I would echo that sentiment. Yeah. I mean, well, granted, I haven't played the other runners really, but the first part of it.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say something interesting about Runner 3 is that it's a rhythm game, like in an essence, but it's also not really pegged on inputting on a rhythm. You know what I mean? Like, it's a platformer more, and like you're playing to a beat, but you're not really pressing buttons on a beat like Rhythm Heaven. You know, like you're kind of playing around the beat. So I think that like that can make for a different set of skills, unlike if you're really good at rhythms.
Are you making excuses at why you stink at Runner 3?
No, I'm good at Runner 3.
I know, I'm kidding with you.
No, but I might disagree with you a little bit, because I think I played all of the Runner games. I wasn't a huge fan of Runner 2. Love Runner 1. And Runner 1's great because it sticks to the beat. It's the beat and the game come very much hand in hand. With Runner 3, I think the platforming goes more into the forefront, and I think the role of the beats and the role of the soundtrack is more subtle, but I would say that following the beat actually did make me clear like some of those hard staircases in the game.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's arbitrary. Like, it's just, here's a fun song and here's it. I do think it is a rhythm-powered game, but I think it is a platform that uses rhythm in the level design more than being a straight rhythm game like the Just Shapes and Beats, which we'll talk about later.
You literally just expressed my sentiment in a more refined way. Oh. Yes, that's exactly what I was trying to say. So that's why we have you on the show, Alex.
Oh, thank you.
So every time I speak, can you just sum up what I actually meant to say?
We're making the transition.
But
we're sunsetting Perry's role on this show.
Yeah. At 100, he's gone, and we reboot back at 1.
Yeah. Prestige back at 1 with Alex Kulafi taking my spot.
But we're not going to call him Alex. We're going to call him Perry still. And never address it. They're like, what the hell happened?
All right. Now, we have been... here. You need to hear the best segue ever. Runner 3 is a sequel. And this next game we're going to talk about is a sequel.
Is it now?
Yeah.
But Runner is a sequel of a sequel, where this game is only a sequel.
Yeah, now,
Right.
I'm not sure if we're talking about
actually-
the actual big game or the game that I added at the last minute to this Quick Bites.
I think the quick bite.
All right. Oh, we're on the Quick Bite. Okay. So last year I started playing Xenoblade 2, like many of us did, and around January, life got in the way. I put it down around chapter 4, so about 20-25 hours into the game. I liked it. Just stuff came up, and it was kind of in the slow middle, or as I kind of feel is where that game is before the plot really picks up in the latter third. So I picked it back up a couple weeks ago, and I got all the way up to chapter 9, and I love Xenoblade 2. Not only do I love Xenoblade 2, Lone Clapper, but I would also say it might be my favorite of the 3 big Nintendo games of last year.
Do you remember what I said at PAX? I said that same thing. Xenoblade 2 was my favorite game of last year.
And I thought you were just memeing, or like you found some personal identity with that game, and because sometimes I feel like there's a tendency to go against the grain, or to go against the grain in a positive way, where you're like, no one else appreciates this game like I do, and I think this game is the heckin' heck. And maybe I'm joining you. Maybe I'm right about that, and I'm just going against the grain in the same way. But I think it's a little deeper than that. I don't think Xenoblade 2 is necessarily the best designed video game of the 3, but I enjoy the Xenoblade 2 experience the most of the 3. Because Xenoblade 2, what it is it is a beautiful mess. It's not everything fits together perfectly, and I think in any other game, any one of its individual parts can be picked apart in some way. Like the battle system. Feels like it's bursting at the seams and could fall apart at any minute, but somehow in the context of Xenoblade 2, it's so satisfying and scratches an itch in just the right spot. I think the story and the characters, I think Rex wouldn't work in any other game but Xenoblade 2. But in Xenoblade 2, Rex really works. I think the structure of going through the world and getting killed by a level 80 monster off screen wouldn't work in any other game. But in Xenoblade 2, it really works. And it's amazing that as opposed to a carefully balanced JRPG like Pokemon, which is polished and shined to a very smooth surface nowadays, Xenoblade 2 is a game that you level up by exploiting the system. In at least my experience, the most effective way to level up is to go to a place that's 10 levels higher than you, pick off enemies one by one until you get like 3,000 EXP at a time, or do some side quests until that sort of builds up and explore the world, and then jump up 3 levels by sleeping at an inn. It doesn't feel like a linear JRPG where you progress by beating enough enemies, doing a little bit of a grind, doing a couple side quests, and completing the story. It's a game where you exploit the system in a way that's really fun and really satisfying, and I don't know if the devs intended to it. And it sounds like I'm complaining about the game or insulting the game, but in the context of Xenoblade 2, all of these different factors that I think on their own have been nitpicked a lot by a lot of people, I think in symphony, Xenoblade 2 is a beautiful game, and there's nothing else quite like it, and I think the story's amazing now, and like especially in the latter half when it all comes together. I think Rex is a wonderful take on a standard protagonist. Like, I think he's just enough different that he speaks to me in some ways I didn't anticipate. I think the battle system, while being very intimidating at the front, actually grew to be extremely satisfying in its design. And the grind, which for me at least has been straight up exploiting the system, has also been satisfying in its own way. And it's hard to put into words exactly what makes Xenoblade 2 great, because I think it's an enigma of a game. But for some reason, all of these parts working together creates a video game that I really love. And I don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about.
One that you love more than Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild is a really good game that spoke to a lot of people in a way that it spoke to me a little bit at parts, but mostly didn't speak to me in the way it spoke to a lot of people. And good on these people. It's beautiful that they love Breath of the Wild. It's beautiful that they played 300 hours, but it didn't necessarily click with me. Mario Odyssey. I beat that game 100% and then beat it again, and I really, really liked it. But something about it the same way didn't scratch an itch. It was just a really, really good 3D Mario game.
Yes.
Xenoblade 2 feels like it was made by artists who suffered to create this thing. that is a little rough around the edges, like Kylo Ren's lightsaber. But for some reason, all of the developers' love comes through in the final product in a way that I can't put my words into, but I really, really love. I love Xenoblade 2 in spite of itself, but I love it so much that I love it more than the other Switch games of last year. And I haven't even beaten it yet.
I feel like you've been waiting like months to proclaim your love for Xenoblade 2, and you're on top of the building screaming it. You're like, I don't care who knows how much I love Xenoblade 2. I'm gonna scream it.
Yeah,
I was silenced at PAX for my Splatoon 2 ideas, but I'm gonna scream this from the mountains.
And Splatoon 2 is the worst Switch game. I'm just kidding. I'm just throwing some PAX-y shade. That's a fine video game right there. But Xenoblade 2, I would say, I have a tendency to enjoy video games that are a little rough around the edges but have something pure in them.
Absolutely. Wabi Sabi.
What is that one?
The Wabi Sabi.
Yeah, it's it's the imperfections that make things. Where's the beauty lies.
Oh, yes. I actually say I had this thought last night, actually. It was
true.
It was just a weird thought that came to, because I think about a lot of my favorite games of certain years, and it's like Final Fantasy 15, which was my first Final Fantasy game, and it was the one that like I really loved. Metal Gear Solid 5, I really loved. Pokemon Silver and Gold, even though like everyone agrees that it's amazing, at least especially in the context of its time, that's a game that Kanto feels like it was half finished, not because they didn't try, but because they were pushing the Game Boy Color to its absolute limit. Metal Gear Solid 5 and Final Fantasy 15, people look at as unfinished games. I feel like they're the product of immense passion of the work of their creative teams, and they put everything they had into that game, and the games that we have are the product of those ambitions. It doesn't matter that the ambitions didn't reach what they wanted it to be. It just meant like the burst of creativity and the heart that I feel in these games is what really makes me identify with some of these things. And Grand Theft Auto 4, I'm one of the few people who would call it one of the best games ever made. I mean, maybe not a few, but maybe in the few of like cool video game people who call it. I think that's another one where people look at it as, oh, it doesn't have the same things as San Andreas. It has one of the most realistic open worlds I have ever played in. Even to this day, I think it surpasses GTA 5 in a lot of ways. And I just, these wabi-sabis, is that what you call them?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that's my game. Those are my games.
Heck yeah, man. Those are my games. I hear you.
Very nice.
Yeah, except for, I mean, it's kind of like, well, like, to me, I think it applies to video games so much because, I think where the dynamics of how a game works, how if it's going on a constant stream, then it's usually, it can be really good, but then when there's not any slow parts or you know, like if it's always high exhilarating or if it's always low, I just think that having the exciting parts, you know, having it be dynamic is so important. And that's where I think,
you know, add some perspective to the really good parts, you know?
Like Wind Waker. Wind Waker is like the ultimate because it has your really fun you're super fun islands, but then you're sailing in between. Some people hate that, but to me, like the sailing is like the chance to decompress my thoughts and just think about like what I just did and what I'm going, and I wonder what that is on the horizon. And I don't know. Even though it just like you said, it's like you can just tell the passions all coming together in level design and the architecture of the GameCube and all that stuff. So, but anyway.
Well, actually, I have one more. I just have one question for you, Casey, because I know you're a huge fan of Xenoblade 2, a huge one.
I sure am.
How do you feel about my label of Xenoblade 2 as a wabi-sabi?
Yeah, I would say that is definitely a fair assessment. You know, when you look at Breath of the Wild, it's probably like how technically sound it is and how all those physics work, and like how like you could sort of like break the game like by doing crazy things within the physics, but like it all makes sense, you know, within that world. Where yeah, Xenoblade is definitely, you know, like the map sort of sucked a lot. Like you said, it sort of is the worst. Like I remember one area I needed to find, it was a key or a door or something, and like my map was showing me this is where it was, and I'm like, but it's not here. And I'm like, but I could go down into this building, but then all of a sudden, yeah, like there's these monsters that are like 30 levels higher than I am. So like, like what video games have been teaching you for the last 20 years is if you run into an enemy that's that much stronger than you, you're in the wrong spot, you know? So it's like, okay, like let me reevaluate. Maybe I needed to go this other way. And I remember I was on that for like an hour and a half. I was getting so angry. But then like I went online and read and like, yeah, you just need to run past all those really high level guys and get to this area. And like that doesn't feel good, you know, and that's sort of annoying. And I would say the beginning of the game definitely starts off slow, and I think that's because you don't have like the battle system is definitely tuned so you have a full party with all of your characters having full blades, you know what I mean? So it's like a constant rotation of switching between different things while cooldowns are sort of, you know, as they're going to cool down, you're like, all right, I could pop out this other blade and use those abilities while the other one recharges, you know? But in the beginning, you don't have a full party and you don't have 3 blades, so it's like, it's pretty slow. And I know I've talked to a few people who, like, the beginning sort of turned them away, you know? They're like, you know, like, the first 8 hours are pretty slow. And, like, I know that's, like, a long time to, like, be like, well, just power through it, you know? But it really does get so good. I love so much the story and how it all... I love that there are a bunch of different Titans, and they have different relationships with different, you know, the inhabitants of one Titan might be friendly with another one, but not, you know, enemies with this other Titan, and how they all sort of play in together and then eventually work in with the story and stuff. I think is really great. And yeah, I don't know what it was. It just... I mean, I love RPGs. They're my favorite type of game, you know, and especially like a JRPG.
Really?
Yeah, if you don't... Didn't you
No
know?
way.
Right behind the Puzz form. But yeah, no, it definitely is not a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination. But like you said, for me, it was definitely my favorite game.
Excellent. No, that is very good to hear. Although I'll say my favorite part of that game, outside of the ending, which I think it's just getting better and better towards the end, I think the beginning, when you start seeing Malos and all those characters, I think that's one of the high points of the game.
Oh yeah, I love I mean, we could probably talk about Xenoblade for a real long
Xenoblade
time.
2 spoiler cast, although I haven't beaten it yet, so that's probably a bad idea. It's fine.
You can listen to the Thirsty Mage when you're done. We did an episode on that.
Very nice.
Yes. Okay.
The quickest, the longest quick bites the quickest long bites of all time.
Yep. Yeah. No, I love it. And you know what? Sometimes the appetizer is better than the main course.
Yeah, mozzarella sticks are the very proof of this.
I love mozzarella sticks, but man, are they the price per stick? It's high.
Yeah.
But it's time to get into what we've been playing. Long edition, I guess, the main entree. So Alex, you have been playing An interesting thing that just came out. Explain.
Yeah, I've been playing a demo not on the eShop, that's for sure. So there's this demo that's out. It's the Pokemon Silver and Gold Spaceworld 1997 demo. Spaceworld, I believe, is a convention of sorts that is or was in Japan. I should have did my history for this, but it was kind of, I brought it up as something in passing, and we decided to talk
Roll
about
with it.
Yeah. And so there was this demo of Pokemon Silver and Gold that was in 1997 that was shown to attendees. And if you may remember, Pokemon Silver and Gold did not come out until a couple of years after that. This was the Game Boy version of Pokemon Silver and Gold. That is what they were working on basically before the whole thing was scrapped and it was rebuilt from the ground up until
Iwata stepped in.
Right. And then we got the Silver and Gold that we have now. I'm sure I'm missing a couple beats of the history, but that's the general gist of what happened. So this is the old Pokemon Silver and Gold demo.
So that's awesome. So the original Game Boy, black and white.
Yes, except it did have Game Boy Color capability. So I did play it in color in the
demo.
in the means that I experienced it. Yes. So I'm going to do this under the assumption that the demo is real and not some fan project. It is all in Japanese and was released by people speaking English. So I'm assuming that this isn't some. It feels too ambitious to me to actually be like some hoax.
Troll, yeah.
Yeah, it just. But I'm still gonna do this with the asterisks of assuming we're all gonna assume it's real.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, it is completely different in every way. The map of Johto is completely different. It is a 5 to 10 minute demo. You start at the starting town, which is called Silent Hills. You go to
Is it really?
I think something like Silent Hills. And
That's funny.
It looks a little bit like Professor Elm's lab town at the beginning, but it's got there's unblockable walls at different parts, and then the preceding demo is 5 to 10 minutes of walking through grass, fighting wild Pokemon, which include a Black Hoppip, a Slowking, a version of Girafarig where instead of the dark tail, it includes a second giraffe head that is dark.
That sprite.
And it has some Gen 1 sprites in there, and you go through and you fight some enemies, and you end up talking to your rival, who looks very similar, and then the demo ends. So it's kind of cool. You can tell it's a different game. Sure. And also, the Pokemon you play as is the fire starter that is not remotely Cyndaquil, Quilava. It looks more like a fire Pikachu, like a bear or a dog. More than anything else. It's a completely different fire starter.
Cyndaquil's awesome, though.
The other starters, there's Chikorita and Meganium are unchanged, but Bayleaf looks way different. Like it looks like a flower, more or less. And then Totodile was replaced with that. That has a completely different line as well. But this is the debug version, which means you're not just playing the demo, but you can do the debug, which allows you to do a lot of different things. It allows you to play a bunch of different trainers in the game, although I didn't learn how to do that, but that's what the cutting room floor page told me I could do. It allows you to walk through walls, basically, in the debug mode. So I walked around and I saw a chunk of the region, which is very unfinished. You can't enter you can't enter any of the caves, you can't enter most of the warps that exist, which are like the doors and stuff. But you can enter like the lab, which you couldn't do in the demo. You can walk around a lot of the different towns, which you can't do in the demo. Which it's all unfinished, mostly first draft type stuff. But you can see a little bit of the flow they were going for. My favorite part of the map is Kanto, which because of the memory issues, because they hadn't figured that out at the time, it was one large town that took elements from multiple different parts of Kanto, including I think a lot of it was based on the I think Celadon City was definitely, and Saffron were the main two, but there were also elements of other ones, and then there was also there were some other Kanto-like things, but it was all very compressed, and the map is very different and there's a lot of walls that go nowhere.
Yeah, so very unfinished.
Very, very, very unfinished. Clearly just a demo. My favorite part, though, and if you've seen the sprites going around, you know this, you can see the completed Pokedex. So 151 through 251. And you can see that, like, there's about 60 Pokemon that didn't actually make it into the final games that are in this demo. And then a lot of Pokemon got very different designs. Hoppip's an example of that. For instance, Noctowl...
Are there any Pokemon that come back later in...
Yes. And, like subsequent...
other gens?
Yes. There are a few that come to mind. So Noctowl looks completely different, but one main example of that is Tangela, which was given both a pre-evolved form and an evolved form in this sort of generation, but later on in Gen 4 is when it actually gets Tangrowth, which is also a very different design of it. This one has a Farfetch'd evolution, which later games don't have. This one has a very different Jinx pre-evolution, a very different looking Pichu. Pichu is one of my favorite designs in the whole thing. And then there's whole lines that just didn't make it into the final game. Like there's this one that's a shark that has an anchor for a tail that's sick.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
There's very different... the legendary dogs are very different in that they look a lot more like dogs. And what I think is the electric one is... It's a black dog with anime Super Saiyan hair, basically. so that one's pretty sick. Celebi, I'm pretty sure, is non-existent.
Dogs with hair.
Dogs with hair.
That's awesome.
My favorite design, I think, would be the Scizor evolution that we never got. Because it's, instead of being the red, sort of metallic Scizor that doesn't necessarily look like Scyther, this one is very Scizor-esque, except it's green, and it looks a lot more like Scyther, but it takes a lot of those same cues. And I think that one's one of the coolest designs, and that was one of my favorite parts. And I remember...
Dude, Scyther's such a cool Pokemon.
Scyther's a very cool Pokemon. Scizor is too.
It's just so cool to get a look behind... at some designs that never, you know what I mean, or early designs. Because, I mean, I don't follow Pokemon super hard, but I imagine they don't ever release, like, concept art of Pokemon that didn't make it.
There are very few. I mean, they exist. I recommend Bulbapedia as a very good resource to see beta Pokemon, and especially beta Pokemon games. That's a very good resource for that. But
Alex is a main contributor to Bulbapedia.
Yeah. There are some other ones. There's a Pinsir evolution, which looks like Pinsir, but it has this dramatic mask, almost like a. It has a face mask that looks like a geisha. There's a Jinx evolution that looks like a small Jinx. There's a Murkrow that has a witch's hat, which is pretty cool. There are there's a lot of different stuff.
Yeah. The one with the hat that looks like because I'm looking at some pictures now, that looks like it'd be in like a knockoff Pokemon game, you know? Like, there's the bird with the witch hat.
Mobile, and then it shows like level 1, tiny fire wolf. Level 2, it's level 30. This level 100, and then it shows this effed up fire dragon wizard, and it's like a Korean MMORPG. Yeah, I've seen those ads before. It's a cool thing, and assuming it's real, and I very much think it is. I think they're gonna release an English translation of all this stuff in a month. It is amazing to see a peek behind the curtain, especially in the early era of Pokemon, when things were still a little rough around the edges in a good way. Yeah, I think
Wabi-sabi.
Wabi-sabi. There's a Ditto evolution. That's one of the other cool things. They tried to evolve Ditto, and I think it was supposed to have a steel type, but I think that got replaced with Wobbuffet ultimately. Yeah. But
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's
so cool, man. Where I stand on Pokemon is, and I'm sure this is a very popular opinion or whatever, but like I love the old games so much more than any of the new games because I like the imagination that you need that you just automatically comes when you play those games. Like instead of like filling it in like with the anime graphics now and everything, like back then, I don't know, like I just have, playing through Red and Blue and Gold, Silver, and even up to the DS ones. I love those. I think the DS ones is like the. I don't know. I love all the old ones a lot more.
I remember I had a friend who worked at a game store and got us Pokemon Diamond and Pearl early, and I remember going to like the launch event in New York City the next day, and I already had like a level 30 Pokemon. I was like,
and then you got mugged.
yeah, get him.
Then,
real quick before we move on, did you play Pokemon Sun and Moon, Perry?
I did. Oh, I did.
No.
Well, no, I knew you did.
Alex,
Okay.
didn't you review it?
Well,
I did review
Alex,
it.
aren't you
I
the
reviewed-
resident NWR reviewer?
I reviewed Ultra Sun and Moon also.
I was going to say, because
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Sun and Moon.
Yeah, you would.
I'm
you're
a
a gym bot.
I'm a casual Pokemon man. I'm pretty much like every other year. You know, I don't double dip for like the improved iteration. But no, I feel like I was surprised at how much I enjoyed Sun or Moon when I played it.
Yeah.
So I think
Or
you
like
might
good old
enjoy
Dan,
it too, Perry.
who 100%ed it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I would. I saw it, and it's just like, it didn't look like it ran very well, and I don't dig that art style at all.
Are you
So,
excited for Let's Go?
no.
Well, I'm not talking to you now.
Oh, sorry.
Dang it.
Yeah, Alex, what do you think about all the new Pokemon stuff?
Yeah.
Announcements.
So I think Pokemon and nostalgia are that's a very strange relationship right there, because there are some things that I think the old games have that the new games don't. For instance, I think there's a heart that the early games had. I think the first 3 generations with Satoshi Tajiri at the helm, that the later games, as solid as they are, don't quite reach. Like, I think there's a heart to those games, and that I don't think the latter games reach. On the other hand,
Absolutely.
going back to play the first 2 generations of games, they play very slowly. Battles take forever. It takes forever to use moves. It takes forever to walk around. Everything takes a very long time, and I didn't even finish my 3DS run of Blue and Red. So I think there's something to be
me
said
neither.
that even if the heart isn't there, they're technically much more sound video games, the latter generation. So there's that conflict. So
Right,
I'm very
exactly.
interested to see Let's Go. I want to see how faithful it is to the old games. I mean, it's got the Go stuff coming, so there's a certain limit to that. We'll see. I think they're gonna. I think it's gonna be better than a lot of people are saying it's gonna be. But
yeah, I think
Sure.
I feel like the Go stuff won't be that intrusive if you don't want it to be. Like, sure, you might have to waggle your Joy-Con to catch a Pokemon, you know, but I don't know.
I don't
and
think
grinding
so.
is going to disappear, I bet. I think hardcore Pokemon fans, which I consider myself in the hardcore knowledge-wise, well, not saying I know everything, but saying, like, I follow Pokemon at a religious level, but I don't play competitively for IVs, EVs.
Right. Right.
As from my end, I think Let's Go is gonna be a very casualized Pokemon game. But
Absolutely.
I
And
think
it should be.
I think the core, because they're trying to make a secondary series, which I think is a fine idea.
They need to capitalize on the freaking game that they got downloaded 800 million times. I mean, it
Yeah.
makes sense. Like, this
Right.
is a good move.
And didn't they
Right,
say
absolutely.
it also is sort of a nice middle ground for, like, all right, we got the people who love Pokemon Go. Let's give them something, a little bit of both, and then this way, when the real game or the real mainline game comes out that doesn't have any Pokemon Go stuff, they'll already be like, it'll be easy to get into that because, oh, like, I'm familiar with these aspects from Let's Go, like, and then they can learn, like, some more of the more traditional Pokemon, you know,
It's a gateway.
stuff. Yeah.
Gateway game.
Right. So
Getting that first
as-
hit.
Yeah.
my take is that I am looking forward to it. My expectations are relatively low, but I'm very interested to see what happens when you combine those old style Pokemon games with the newer mechanics. Not even talking about Go, just being in Kanto with everything Game Freak knows now about how to make a polished video game. I think just being in Kanto and seeing their take on that and seeing a version of those games that runs faster and just feels like a much faster, brisker game overall. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that plays out. I'd call myself excited. Although my expectations remain low for whether this is going to be a game for me.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, like I'm actually kind of in the same boat because obviously Kanto's my favorite. I mean, that's what I grew up with, and that was the heyday when I was into Pokemon. So return to that is definitely, but it's like it's in that halfway game. I'm not super pumped because I would rather have something that was like more of a remake, like a legit remake. But this is cool. I think it's cool. See, to me, I think like Pokemon Leaf Green, Fire Red. It's probably my favorite Pokemon.
Oh well, they brought the old ones into.
It's just a gorgeous. Yeah, exactly, and I'm kind of hoping for something like that. And anyway, we could go on about Pokemon forever.
Yeah,
we really could. Especially
we're jumping all over the
show.
board here. Yeah, this is and we've got some more Pokemon to get into in a minute. But I think you've been playing something completely not related to Pokemon at all.
That's right, and that is Yoku's Island Express. Okay, good. Yeah, so Yoku's Island Express. This is a game that heard about a long time ago in the pitch for it. Like, I remember seeing the press release email like a long time ago. The pitch is like, it's an adventure, platforming, Metroidvania kind of game, but with pinball. And I was like, that's ingenious. Like, what a fantastic idea. Like, the idea of moving around the stages, playing with the concept of pinball, and then also, introducing that with other elements and making pinball more fun for people who don't really like pinball, which was me. I mean, I don't mind pinball. And I get why people would like it. It's not my favorite video game because it's not even a video game. It's
tangible.
The video game before, it's tangible. Anyway, so this game, I've been excited to play it ever since, and finally get to play it, and it's basically everything I thought it would be. And I always want to start with something I really like, which is amazing, is the art style is phenomenal. I mean, it's very Rayman Legends-like, where everything is like kind of hand-painted, handcrafted. Everything kind of moves like Rayman Legends, if you know what I mean. Kind of feels like flat images, but in like this really vibrant and beautiful world. And so the way the gameplay is you're the Yoku, who is this little poop bug. What are those called? Dung beetles?
Dung beetle.
Poop bug?
I like poop bugs.
I call them berries.
Where you get like blasted off into this island, I think, and you're the new mailman there.
Are you making this up?
No. You get there and the guy's like, "Oh, finally my replacement," and then like you're okay. I guess I'm the mailman, and you walking around and there's this you're in the big open world, right? And it's side scrolling, and they go, "Okay, go over to the town over there and blah 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 blah," and then so you're making your way, and then it's the tutorial, and you figure out how to. So you can walk left and right. You're not always playing pinball in this game. How it works is you can walk left and right, and then there's like little bumpers, just in random spots, and then like red or orange ones do the right bumper, and that's like the right button on your Switch, and then blue ones are the left bumper. I think I got those right. And so you can both walk, but then if you can't jump. So if you need to get to places, you have to use those. And there's little puzzles, like little kind of gameplay mechanics that hook into there really seamlessly, almost. Very well. Like you'll hit yourself up, and then you'll bounce off something and bounce off another thing and ricochet off that, and you'll land at the spot. And I think it feels really good because it feels organic when you do it. It doesn't feel like you were hit and then to like a little pre-rendered movie thing where but like it feels like the momentum is set up perfect to where it just feels like, I don't know, natural. And so but then it has like, the adventure game elements, like you talk to someone and they say, hey, can you go over here and get this, I need a toolbox to fix this bridge, and then you'll come back to them later. There's also collectathon type stuff elements in the game too, so you can like go for the 100%, and that's a little fun because that it's just more like rewards for exploring, which we all like. I think you like exploring, right, Alex?
Yeah, I like a good exploration.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's fun like when you, and then like so there's like these little what are those little things, like little sprout things that you can find for, sometimes they're even little challenges to get to them. Like, how to do it, but you have to do this pinball challenge to get to it. And so it's like sometimes like I'm like, I don't want to spend the time to actually get that because I don't feel like I'm good enough at pinball to get to it, so you can skip it. But if you do get them, then you can unlock like other things in the map and other little special things. As you're making your way through the world, you will get upgrades to yourself. Like the first one, you unlock one of those party things. What are those called? That you blow into?
Noisemakers?
No, yeah.
The little ones that
right?
sort of like are a little ball and then you blow it out and they...
Yeah. You get that, and that's like your way of like of interacting with the world. Like if you walk next to, I don't know, like a sprout or something, and you blow on the noisemaker, and then it'll like a fruit will pop out, and that's like kind of the main pickup of the game, or fruit, and it's currency, so you can unlock like other springs and other bumpers. So it's like you'll walk up and you'll see it's locked, and you need 30 pieces of fruit to unlock this bumper so that you can get up to that thing, and you'll unlock it. So, does that make sense how the game plays, Casey?
Yeah, no, I think I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, so the game is very, it's dynamic on a very shallow level, in the sense of you are walking and you're doing a little platforming and you're doing pinball stuff, mixing that up. So the gameplay is kind of always mixed up. But where I think the game doesn't kind of live up to what it could have been, or I don't exactly know how it could have got better, but the sense of it does kind of feel like you're just kind of going through the motion, and there's not any real highs or lows the whole game. I think it feels good, but there are some like little things that hold it back. Like for instance, the pinball. So like, I don't think that it's Alex, and you can it doesn't have like sense. It's not sensitive.
No,
to
in fact,
the button inputs.
It has the exact same. It hits the ball at the exact same strength every single time. So you really just need to know to hit the ball at like the right part of the flipper. I actually found the pinball segments to be lacking. The level design there generally.
I was gonna say that's sort of disappointing that there's no, like, you can't just tap it.
Well, I'm trying to think, right? Okay, so I'm sure the idea is, if there was a sensitive bumper tap, then I'm sure that would make the way they design stuff way harder to do, because for the player, because it's like if you have to hit it on the certain part of the bumper and at this certain speed, it might make stuff really hard. So I'm wondering if that was like a design choice, to be like, okay, hey, we need to make it so it's just one speed, otherwise this game's gonna be too hard. Like, and I'm not saying that was a bad thing or a good thing, but I mean, it might have hurt them in this sense, but it maybe helped in other sense. Like how you make, kind of like how I was explaining before, as you're actually traversing the environment and using the bumpers in the environment, if those were sensitive, then you might fly off the screen and go places you didn't want to go, and then have to and make it harder to traverse, which is another thing, right, that I've encountered, where you can fall off where you're trying to go and make your way, like I was trying to go up a you know, a more vertical section. And I thought, okay, what's down here? You know, I see like there's a cliff, and I jump off the cliff, and oh, there's nothing down there. And now I just lost like 2 minutes of my life. And
try again.
You know, so it's like little stuff like that. But I mean, that's just where I feel like Yoku's Island. It's a great, and it's an original game. You know, I'm so glad that, you know, games like this are coming out. I love the idea, the concept. I think that that a sequel of this, you know, if they could do a lot of improvements with maybe enhancing the pinball sections, kind of like Alex was saying. I think, and then they could even, you know, putting in more ideas, you know, and building upon the concepts would be really good. But I have enjoyed the game so far, but it's just not. It hasn't hooked me in ways that other games have that I like so much. So
I found myself forgetting Yoku's Island Express quite soon after I beat it, to the point where I'm trying to think back if it really does just have one sensitivity of hitting. It either has one or two, but either way, I concur with you that the game did not grip me. However, I find myself in the minority, because I know Neil and I were on the lower scale of the reviews end. I think I gave it somewhere in the 6.5 range. He gave it somewhere in the 7-ish range, but I saw people like Patrick Klepek tweeting out that they absolutely love it. I think some people are absolutely loving it, and all the power to them, of course. But I found myself in a camp like you, where I'm like, I think this could be a really good thing. I can tell the developers really liked what they were making, or I think they were, and this specific one was maybe a bit more of a swing and a miss for me than it was for other people.
See, and the thing is, and I think that you agree, I really appreciate the game for what it is. I think it's such a fantastic idea. And, you know, I can see, I mean, and there's so many amazing aspects. Like, you know what I mean? The art production is really cool. Writing is pretty good, and it's funny, and anyway. So, but yeah, it's not like, you know, it's a good game. It's not a great game. If I could take that quote from my friend Casey.
So you're saying it's like a wabi-sabi?
It's a wasabi?
This one's just a wasabi. Have you guys seen that video of that little like baby that their parents give him? Is it wasabi? That's the.
Oh, like the spicy a little bit, or it's got a kick to it.
Yeah, they give it to him, and the kid just like, you know, he has this like really concerned expression on his face, and he looks at the camera at his parents, and he goes, "Help!"
Oh no, that poor little guy.
So funny. Yeah. Anyway, that was Yoku's Island Express. It's also physical, which is really cool, and it has really cool art. So if you want to check that out, it's from Team 17. But we're gonna move on to, I can't believe it, more Pokemon.
Yes, sir.
I know. Yeah. Maybe we brought Alex on for the Pokemon and not for the E3 predictions.
We're kicking him off.
I love how this worked out. Yeah.
You put his two
more
episode
7-Eleven
appearances
stories
together, and he's got a full episode.
Perfect. So Casey, what have you been playing?
I've been playing that free little download, Pokemon Quest. Yes, now we talked a little bit about this last week when we were actually recording. I don't know if Alex knows this. We were recording when all that Pokemon news dropped, so we were sort of like trying to figure out all of it afterwards to get it on the show. So, yeah, Pokemon Quest, I downloaded it while we were doing the eShop Roundup, and I was like, might as well check it out and see what the jam is. And it's a weird little game. I guess it's sort of like the Pokemon Rumble games that have come out in the past, but sort of, I guess, sort of building on that foundation. I can't really speak too much of the Rumble games because I haven't really played much.
What about that Wii U Rumble game with the amiibo before the amiibo? Ooh. Alex, did you have that game?
What are you talking about?
Remember the Wii U?
Are you talking about Pokemon Rumble?
Yeah, the Wii U one that came out with the little Pokemon figures that did the amiibo thing.
that was Pokemon Rumble on the Wii U. I think it was like a battle royale type, not literally in the modern context. It's
100 Pokemon.
It's PUBG, and the P stands for Pokemon. But no, I did play that one. It was a very half-arsed video game, I found. It was definitely not the best game in that series. I think that is held by Pokemon Rumble Blast, that early 3DS game that came out, the full release. I really like that one a lot.
Cool.
But this one's a lot like that, I think, Casey.
Yeah, so essentially, you get in there and they do a little tutorial for you, and you get to pick your Pokemon, and they are one of the 3 starters, like Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander, but you can also pick between Eevee and Pikachu. I went with Pikachu. Now, here's the thing. They're all ridiculously cute because they're like little... is it
voxel?
Yeah, voxel art. So they're little tiny little guys, and the whole world is just. One thing I should say is this game is really stylized, but like I really love the art style, but also even just like the menuing and the transitions between menus, everything is super crisp and looks really great.
Totally.
But essentially, when you get into battles, you go out adventuring, and like there's different hubs on the map, and then in that hub there's like 3, 4, 5, however many levels, and then a boss battle. Essentially, when you get into these battles, you have a team of 3 Pokemon, and they run out and they just start attacking on their own. They'll run over to like a pack of enemies and attack. Now, where you come into play is that you can use their abilities on the touch screen, or if you are playing docked, you get like a little cursor that you can move. I found it's much easier to play in handheld mode just because the touch screen, they're right there, it's really easy instead of sort of like slowly moving the cursor left and right. But each of your Pokemon has different abilities, and as you get different Pokemon, obviously those are going to change up. My Pikachu had one where it was like, I don't know the exact names, but it's a thunder attack straight where it just does one, damage to one Pokemon or one enemy you're attacking. And then you have one that sort of pulsates and like does 3 smaller attacks around your body and then works their way out. Good for when you've got a couple different enemies out and about and you want to get some damage around. But most people would probably say this game is extremely passive, and I'd say that they're mostly right, but there is some strategy involved. For example, I was in a battle and I was a little undermanned, and my Pokemon they were dropping like flies, and like there's one big boss left, but I had a Pokemon that had Growl, so I was able to like scare that Pokemon away and then hit the run button, and like the run, it just sort of does like a little dash the opposite way, and then like they turn back and start heading towards the enemy again. But I was able to sort of just like cycle between scaring it off and running away for my other Pokemon to come back to life, and then I was able to actually beat it, So while it is, like I said, mostly a passive experience with you just sort of hitting your skills, there is some strategy involved when to use those skills and how to use them. Now, of course, it's Pokemon. You want to get more Pokemon. That's sort of always the plan. Get more Pokemon, make them stronger. So how do you get Pokemon in this game?
I don't know.
You don't know, Perry? Well, let me tell you. You go back to your little base area, and what you do is when you are out adventuring, when you take down enemies and even just like obstacles in the way. So if there's a tree and you do that sort of area of attack, area of damage attack, some of the trees will break and you'll get resources and stuff. So when you go back to camp, you put a couple of these different ingredients together and you cook something, and that usually takes in the beginning it was like 2 explorations, so when you go out exploring and do 2 battles, you come back and it would be ready. Then that will attract new Pokemon, and they just come to your little encampment, and then they become your friends, and then you can use them. As you go down, as you continue on, like all of a sudden it'll take 4 different battles to get a Pokemon, and this is where sort of the microtransaction stuff can come into play. You can use these tickets to speed that up, and then I believe you could just buy the tickets outright, but I don't know. I haven't really explored buying anything, really.
Does Alex know?
What do you mean?
Well, this game...
What do I know?
The microtransactions.
Oh, so how the DLC works?
Well, is it just DLC, or are there actual microtransactions where you could buy like the tickets?
So I think what you can buy is you can buy the currency to some extent. I think it might be a bit of a premium currency, but I do know that you got the DLC packs, which are, I think there's 3 of them, but you can buy them all cumulatively. And I think there is some way to buy the currency, but since you asked me to have my Switch with me, I'll look it up as you talk.
Perfect. Yeah, so I imagine that's where that comes into play, because that would just speed up how long it takes to cook these things and attract new Pokemon. And obviously that's part of the loop, is just getting new Pokemon and keep improving your team. Now, while you're also on the battlefield, not only do you collect these resources you can use for cooking, but you also get these things called stones, which you can then attach to your Pokemon to make them stronger. There are health stones, which, as you'd imagine, increase your health. You've got ones that increase your damage, and then there's these yellow ones that you can actually attach, or they might actually be different colors, and yellow is just the thunder attack. I'm not 100% sure, but essentially you get these stones that you can attach to Pokemon's moves, and it will increase their power in one way or another. Like one of them, I think, was it reduces the damage by like 10 or 15%, but it adds like another bullet or another like wave. For instance, how I said that one move sent 3 shock waves around you, it would send 4, but they'd all be a little less strong, you know, a little less power. But it's fun to mix and match, and as your Pokemon level up, they unlock new slots for your stones. So essentially, as you level up, they can hold on to more of these things that make them even more powerful. So it's a fun little game. I could totally see how this game probably works better on mobile, just because you always have it at your disposal,
right.
and you can just sort of bop it out,
I'm glad they brought it out on Switch.
Oh no, I think it's great.
You know?
I mean, I would not have probably played it if it wasn't out on the Switch. So, and it works well on the Switch when you're in handheld mode. But like I said, just sort of
Can you do all touchscreen?
What's up?
Is there all touchscreen options?
Oh yeah, the whole thing's touchscreen.
Yeah, in fact, that's the better way to play.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, cool.
Because when it's docked, you just move like the analog stick, and it brings up like a little cursor, and it moves pretty slow. So like how when you're battling on the field, obviously most of the screen is the field, but along the bottom it shows your 3 Pokemon, and then it shows either their 1 or 2 skills. And when you're playing handheld, it's just easy to tap on that. But when you're sliding from the leftmost Pokemon to the rightmost Pokemon, there is a little bit of a delay just working that cursor to the other side. So I would totally recommend playing it in handheld mode if you're going to play.
Cool.
But yeah, it's a cute little game. I don't think I'm going to keep up too much with it, but I am glad I checked it out.
Well, bibbity boppity.
I can confirm. Actually, I can confirm that I am wrong by being so sure that there are microtransactions, because I looked at the eShop page and I went into the game and checked, and I did not see any options. You do get bonus Pokemon tickets if you buy any of the DLC. Like I think it's 100 per individual pack, but I didn't see any option of $9.99 for 1,000 bonus. This is the best deal if you spend $12.99. I didn't see any of those in the game, so it might just be the DLC packs.
Okay, see, I like the sound of that much better.
You can buy some weights, like some of those stones that you put on your Pokemon's attack. You can buy those as microtransactions for $2.99, but you can't buy the tickets. I don't think.
That's so strange, because I would have thought it'd be the other way around, because buying the stones almost seems more pay to win, where buying the tickets is more like, hey, just get a better chance at getting Pokemon in your town, you know? But interesting.
Yeah. Interesting.
Indeedy.
But a game that we actually all played together.
Would you look at that?
PAX.
Yeah.
I forgot about that until just now. So we can all talk about this next game, but Alex is going to lead the charge on it. And what is that, Alex?
Just Shapes and Beats.
So this is just Shapes and Beats.
Just
Nothing
Shapes
else.
and Beats. It is what
Just
it
Shapes
is.
and Beats.
And that's all he's got to say.
What is it? It's just Shapes and Beats. What are you
Yeah.
It's a rhythm game. It's a single screen shoot 'em up-y kind of rhythm violence.
Avoid 'em up.
Avoid 'em up. It is an avoid 'em up because you can't actually attack anything. It is.
Yeah.
It's very much a play songs kind of game. So we played this at PAX. We had a pretty good time. We found it pretty hard. I went into the game expecting it to be very much multiplayer focused, and it does have a very well-featured multiplayer mode, but it does have a story campaign for solo players that's totally balanced to single-player play. Each song, there are 2 types of levels that I've seen. The first one is a standard song where you go through levels, you're a little square, and you're trying to reach the end of the level. There are things popping up to the beats, like it's like boom, 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 boom. Sometimes monsters will appear that attack to the beat. Sometimes it'll just be spikes coming out. It's the pink is bad. That's how you know what to avoid. Sometimes it's lasers. And you avoid stuff to the beat of the song, generally. Or that's sort of the premise. You know the attacks at least go to the beat of the song. It's a lot of EDM. It's a lot of those kinds of bumpy electronic songs. The standard levels have a number of checkpoints, and there are these boss levels that are much, much harder that do not have checkpoints. And the story campaign, it has a little bit of a story going on, but it's mostly just play the bulk of the soundtrack through this.
It's mostly just flibberty-gibbet.
It's flibberty-gibbet. It's wasabi, one might say.
What?
Wabi-sabi. or no, are you thinking wasabi now?
It is. It reminds me a lot of Sound Shapes, where sort of you're square, and at the end of the level you sort of catch a triangle. That's kind of how you know you end a level. And it uses shapes in a way that makes me think of Sound Shapes, which was a Vita/PS4/PS3 game that is available. Very good video game.
So it uses shapes and beats.
Just those, though.
Just those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this game being really cool, I mean, like cool looking, cool sounding. I loved the characterization of the developer in the game. Like he'll talk to you, the creator of the game. I remember being like, this level's like, it'll just say on there, this level's a little hard, so we're giving you more health,
Oh, I think that's a demo only thing, but that is kind of cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
oh, that wasn't in the main game.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But there is one thing you might like, because we all remember the game being very difficult in the demo. It has one of the best approaches to a quote-unquote casual style mode that I've maybe seen in a video game ever. We're talking about Pokemon. That's kind of the theme here. Pokemon games. Yeah. And starting in X and Y, they started introducing the EXP share, where every single Pokemon in the party gets half the EXP as the main one.
Hate. That's what drove me away from the series. Anyway, continue.
And it annoyed the crap out of me, especially because they force you to get it. Like I think the right way to play that is to choose an option at the beginning of the game and have it, like, sort of, because I think when it gives you the EXP share and it turns it on, it puts you in casual mode by default. And if you turn it off, and like people are like, why don't you just turn it off? Well, the problem with doing that is that it feels like you're just making it harder on yourself unnecessarily. So by making it the default, I think that actually messes with the immersion a lot. But in this game, it has a casual mode that gives you twice the HP. Like your square has a health bar that's sort of, it fills up the square with white when you get hit. It gets emptied somewhat. And the casual mode gives you twice the HP, and it's something that's mainly built for story mode, just so you can experience the game, and that's cool. But what I like is it defaults to off, so you have to turn it on.
You need
which
to
I think is
admit
an
defeat.
enormous difference. Yes, which I did. I did it a couple times. Like I'm in the latter half of the story mode. I think it has like 24-ish songs in that, and then maybe another 10 outside that. And I did use it a couple times, and even with it, I haven't beaten the latest boss I got to shortly before recording it. But I think I think it's a very clever thing. I like the game overall. I find myself having a hard time feeling the beat of the game. Like that's
what I was gonna say. Like that was the problem I had with the game, was that it didn't feel like there was really skill. It was just memorization of the patterns that were of oncoming beats.
Yeah,
there is some skill.
I mean,
there's a little bit of that. But I think
there is.
It's still, even if you know what's coming, it's still really hard to, in some
It's quick,
levels, to do that. Yeah.
It's like I've played just
yeah.
a little bit of it. I'm up to that first boss that we lost in the demo. I haven't gotten a lot of time to play, and I'm probably going to play a bunch this week. But yeah, it definitely is super fast paced, so I think you need to be on your toes, and even if you do remember it, you still need to be able to make that correct, get to the correct area and know when to use that dodge. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it has any rhyme or reason, like, oh, I should go over here because of the musical cue, as much as like Perry said, where it's like, oh, okay, this is an area I can sort of hang out in. And I don't know, I haven't played a ton of it, and I know it's super tough, so I'm probably gonna flip on that casual mode at some point as well. But it really does have cool music.
That's a good idea.
And like I like the
I feel
idea.
like this would be a great. Well, it'd probably be great handheld headphone game. I feel like, I don't know. It just seems like it'd be like a really, on the couch with the headphones in.
Yeah. Nice headphones is good. I think it's also a very good on the TV, late at night, light off, just hanging out and watching the screen flash.
Dude, do you know what is the best game? Probably my favorite game to do that.
What?
Thumper.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Rhythm Violence. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. The memories I have. Actually, almost exactly a year from now, Casey, because that's what you got for my birthday last year.
Oh, that's right.
I remember playing that. Literally a year from... Yeah, and I was playing that. Oh, man, the feels. What a great game. And it's, it's the rhythm game. Not too different. It's just not as violent. Although, Just Shapes and Beats kind of gets violent.
Yeah.
It gets violent, all right. With those... I mean, I've only seen one of the bosses, but they're very mean.
How about that part where you raid the drug cartel and there's all that...
We're talking about Hotline Miami now?
No, we're talking about Just Shapes and Beats.
Oh.
They really should say Just Shapes and Beats and drug cartels.
Something like that.
Yeah. I like it. I'm sort of struggling to say that I love it or I think it's really great. And I actually think that for as much people are saying, and I don't even think it's just you, Perry, I think this is a lot of people are saying this, that Runner 3 doesn't necessarily use, or like some people have a hard time seeing Runner 3 as a rhythm game. I actually think I have an easier time, I have a better interaction between Runner 3 and its soundtrack, sort of as it works with the mechanics, than I do with Just Shapes and Beats. I like it as a cool shoot-'em-up-y style game that has really cool music over it. And I think sometimes the levels do sort of play with the beat. I'm like, oh, I know how to dodge this laser because I can feel this beat coming. But it feels more desynchronized for me in this game than it does for Runner 3, where just everything feels in sync for me.
Yes. Yep. I think of Runner 3 as a rhythm game. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Nope,
remember,
you already said you didn't.
You expressed how you thought. That's exactly how I thought.
It's a MOBA.
But now you said you don't know if you really love Shapes and Beats. Now,
it's just Shapes and Beats. That's the problem.
That's the problem. Yeah. But this next game we're going to talk about is something that I got to play. Me and Casey played together. Well, we didn't play together, but
simultaneously.
We were talking. We were playing simultaneously, and I think I love the game, and that is Mario Tennis Aces. Yes, Mario Tennis Aces. The demo version.
Yes.
Like, Alex, did you get to play this?
I played the tutorial, and then I played a match, and then I was winning, and then the online collapsed when I was about 2 points from winning the match, and then I was losing strictly because of the online connection, and then I stopped playing.
Okay, that's unfortunate, because I totally get that. I started playing tutorial. Online seemed great, but I was just getting trounced. Like, I absolutely trounced because...
Doesn't surprise me.
It shouldn't, because you were there, Casey. But thank you for rubbing it in like you always have to.
I gotta stick your face in it.
Yep. But, yeah, so... Yeah, start the game playing as Mario, and I was just like, I can't, I love tennis, but I seem to not be able to make it to the ball fast enough. Like, it was too fast. Like, I was getting aced. In aces, by people. But I think I was just facing a really good person. Because then after that, I just got better. But yeah. There's a lot to Mario Tennis Aces.
Yeah, all right, so for me, when it comes to the Mario sports games, I'm a golf man, or I guess I would say I'm a golfer. Mario.
You're a caddy.
Yeah, I carry the clubs. But for me, like, that's the game I get excited about. So for me, Aces, I actually, it's funny, I was looking back at all the other Mario Tennis games, and I realized I really haven't played a Mario Tennis game since GameCube. Now, I believe the one for Wii was just a re-release of the GameCube with motion controls, right?
Yes.
So it's like I didn't play that one, and then
Mario Power Tennis.
And then I certainly didn't play the one for Wii U, and I didn't play the one for 3DS. So it's been a hot second.
What about Virtual Boy?
Yeah, I've played that one, but I played that one after I played the GameCube one. Or, I mean, before. Maybe it was after. Okay. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, so, like, I was, I don't want to say excited, but, like, I was looking forward to Aces, and I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to get to check it out this weekend. So I was actually happy to be able to get in on there Friday night, and I didn't really face too many internet connections. I got to play Friday night, a little bit Saturday morning, and then a little bit Sunday night. And as far as connection goes, there were a few times when I got disconnected before the match began. But due to how the tournaments work, it was actually nice. You just sort of restarted exactly where you were, so you didn't lose any progress, because I was actually in the finals the first time I got disconnected. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, of course I get to the finals and it DCs, But luckily I started right back there, so that was nice. There were a few times where, like, the game would stutter a little bit, and then I would be on, like, maybe not quite a half-second delay, but, like, a noticeable delay from when I'd hit a button, on the controller and before it hit the screen. And, like, I finished the match out like that, which didn't really feel good, but I remember you were saying how you almost got used to it, like, for the rest of the match, because everything was just, it was, like, timed lag, like, it was, every input was delayed by a certain amount, so, like, you sort of could work with it. But as far as the actual game goes, really, really fun. I feel like with tennis games, like, I prefer to go, like, the traditional play, rule set, where it's like, get rid of all the gimmicky shots, let's just play tennis and see who's better, But with Aces, what?
Let's just see who's better. Mano y mano.
Yeah.
It's just like, get rid of the rackets.
Final destination, no items,
Yep.
But with the new features in this game, I was actually loving them, and I think my favorite thing is it's because it's like, they're clear advantages, but they're balanced for both sides. So essentially, when you're playing, you gain energy, and it fills up your gauge in the top left corner, and you can use that gauge for a number of different things. Now, when you're playing offense, and you'll get, or I guess you're sort of always playing offense, but when the ball's coming back to you, and you're getting ready to return it to them, sometimes it will be on, like, there'll be a star underneath where it's going to land. And when that happens, you can go over to that and hit R, and what you do is you go into a zone shot, which it momentarily pauses the game, and then you use your gyro controls to aim where the ball goes. And then it's like a super powerful shot, and it has the chance to break the opponent's racket. And if the opponent loses both their rackets, they get KO'd and they lose the match. Now, normally, I feel like this would just be like, oh, they got a power shot, they get the point, But this game does really well is it gives the defensive player an equally as powerful ability if they have the energy. They can use something called zone speed, which slows everything down and allows them to get into position. So generally, I would use my energy for defense, because I'd say, you know what, they can fire those shots at me, and if I have energy to get into zone speed and get into position, I can stop this, and it's no harm, no foul, you know? So it's really nice how it works, because it doesn't give one person, like, if there's one person with energy and another person without it, of course, that person's going to be at a severe advantage, you know, who has the energy. But if both players have some energy, like, I never feel like one person is just going to be able to, like, unfairly win a point and the other person have zero chance to do anything about it.
Yes, and I found, like, out at the very beginning, I was trying to block the power shots without going into zone speed, like, because you can, and I actually did block one of them, like, without even slowing down time. I have proof of that too. I saved it. But yeah, like, once you realize the mechanics, it's crazy. It's a crazy good balance, because, like, whenever I wanted to do those zone shots or those special, you know, moves where I can do, you know, like, stop time and aim and shoot, I felt like I could, a good chance that I was gonna, you know, beat them. But then, like, whenever anyone else did, I could slow time and, like, you know, like 2 out of 3 times block it, and it felt good. I mean, you know, it just feels good. So it's like you're saying, like, the balance is really good there.
Yeah, I was, in the beginning, I was having trouble blocking it, because I would constantly be too early and it'd shatter. But once, it took a couple of matches, but once you sort of get where the timing is, it becomes much easier to block those severe, you know, power shots at you. And, but yeah, it just, like I said, it does a good job of not giving one person, like, a severe advantage where it's just like, oh,
right.
like, there's no point in even trying because they're going to win, you know?
Right,
but what's also cool is the new trick shot, which it works on a couple of different levels. Now, the first one is, if you perfectly time it, you get a big boost to your energy, and if you don't, then it just uses energy. So you want to be able to time it nicely, because, again, that energy is a limited resource that you sort of want to conserve when you can. But it also works as a great last-ditch, like, oh, crap.
Yes.
I need to get to the other side of the court. And each player has, like, a different little animation where they do, like, a trick shot, but essentially, like, Mario, I think, does, like, somersaults to the other side of the court, and you need to be able to time it, because the jump, like, you don't really dictate how big the jump is. Like, it's always sort of the same distance, so you need to be able to know what time to do it and at what angle to be able to get to the ball properly. And that's always just fun to use, because, again, it feels really good to just score off a trick shot and be like, yep, that's it, boys, you know? Especially because you know that other person already thought they had that point.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, so I would like to draw a correlation between this and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe real quick, because I think, like the having 2 items that they added in the deluxe version, and the pink sparks, just those 2 things are very small, but then make big impacts. Well, the items are not very small, but the pink sparks are. But they make big impacts in how you can play, just in general, and it adds that level of dynamics, which is exactly what I feel like this game has done, where I feel like not just adding gimmicks, not just adding power-ups that are just overpowered or unbalanced, but this is just giving more skill and more ways to grow in your skill in tennis, in really smart and cool ways that I thought was awesome. And I've seen people on Twitter that, you know, they played it and they just totally did not like it, and they just, you know, they thought, oh man, I don't like this, and it's hard, and I can get that. But and it's funny, because I don't know how I would have been if I wasn't talking with you, Casey, because you had already, like, been playing it and telling me how much you love it. And so when I started playing, I was like, man, I'm getting, like, trounced, and it's like, I don't know. But then, like, oh no, like, you'll get into it. You're kind of giving me tips and stuff, and like how to understand how to play. And then so I got better. So I would like to encourage other people, if they did try the demo and they thought it was too hard, that there are mechanics that they make more sense the more you play them, and to give it a second shot.
Yeah.
Or if you're like Alex, and you just got the internet was all messed up.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they, and I should say, well, I don't want to say I know they will, but the whole point of these demos is to sort of test the servers, you know, and check out everything. So hopefully they can take what they saw from this past weekend and sort of improve upon it for when it launches. But yeah, it definitely takes a little bit of time to sort of completely understand and grasp how the zone shots and zone blocks work. But once you do, it's just really competitive. I had some really long volleys where like, oh, a trick shot saved him, and then I was able to get this crazy shot off, and it just really fun back and forth. And I'm stoked.
Oh,
I can't wait.
I tell you what, I cannot wait for like the single player stuff. I can't wait to be able to play with different characters. And like I hope they do different courts, like different physics and stuff, like clay courts and stuff like that. Like they.
Sorry.
Oh, what? No, go ahead.
Well,
That's what I was gonna say.
I was gonna say I'm sure they will. And when you hit the finals, they bring you to a different court in the demo, and then all of a sudden like. You had like little Toad announcers, and every time I was in the finals, I got my butt kicked, and it's just so funny to hear like Toad like, Rosalina really not doing a good job out there. better step it up.
Wait, do they sing it? I mean, do they say it?
You know, in like Toad like.
Oh, okay. They actually don't like say the words because that would be so creepy.
No, it's just like little speech bubbles, you know, and it's just like
how Toad
looks like Rosalina's really falling behind out there. And it's like, God dang,
you
Toad.
suck, Casey.
Yep. But yeah, Aces, I'm pumped for it. I can't wait.
Me too. Well, this is, I think we might be hitting a record for what we've been playing.
I think so.
Like about an hour and a half. So let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to do a quick eShop roundup before we get into our E3 predictions.
Ooh, excellent.
Okay, we're back, and it's time for, you know it, the Switch eShop Roundup.
The eShop Roundup. Yeehaw.
Since when did we add the Switch to the title here? You got a new jingle?
No, I don't got a new jingle.
Then you better edit that out.
Okay, I'll edit it out. But we're starting with Them Bombs for $9.99. What is this game?
It looks like a little interesting board game. Yeah.
That's it?
Yep.
It's just a board game. It looks like it has lots of things in it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it seems to be a popular genre making its way to the Switch, so I have a feeling we'll be
VR
seeing
headset.
more.
No VR headset for
Nope.
which is like that's kind of the point of this style of game, I thought.
Oh. Well,
you know the one I'm talking about?
Hey, don't mess with my E3 predictions. my VR headset prediction. Yeah. And then, Casey, what's our next game?
Next up here we have Yesterday's Origins for $29.99. And this game right here is an adventure game. Looks like it's got some puzzly stuff to it, but it actually has a pretty decent looking art style to it. Sort of like... not quite Borderlands-esque, but like I'm looking at like the character models, and they sort of have that like cell shadedness to them. Who said immortality was eternal? Who said that, Perry?
Wabi Sabi?
It was Young John.
Next up, we have Quad Fighter K for $7.99.
Yeah.
Looks like this is some sort of fighter with 4 people.
Little shmup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure, why not? Alex, do you like shmups?
I've never played a shmup that I fell in love with. Although Ikaruga, a couple rows below, is sort of piquing my interest a little bit.
Ooh, baby, that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep moving on.
What do we got next, Alex?
We got Defoliation, which sounds similar to Detention, and its cover art looks a little bit like Detention. It is a puzzle-solving adventure suspense game set in Taiwan. Interesting, because Detention was also a Taiwanese game. There's a screenshot where it seems like there's a young woman in a vulnerable situation that says, Baiyu is very attractive. Her sleeping face is like a ceramic doll. With her blonde hair, she is like a beautiful elf from a fairy tale.
Now I know why James Jones is reviewing this game.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, I think so.
Look, there's valves in the cabinet. Maybe we can turn off the water. It looks like an old school style adventure game, almost like something on the, what's that horror game on the Super Nintendo that everyone loves, Clock Tower?
Yep.
Is that?
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
I think that was inspiration for Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of inspiration for Resident Evil, we have Pirate Pop Plus, the next game for $3.99. A game that I've played on Wii U and 3DS, and I like it. It looks like a Game Boy game, and it just plays like it's like an arcade high score game.
Yeah, I think I played this one as well.
Could not go wrong for $3.99. I will probably download it on the Switch. It's great.
It's a week,
But
Perry.
Casey.
Yes,
heck
sir.
Yeah. The time can go on.
Yep. Every week, we eagerly look forward to the latest Neo Geo release. And as you could guess, what kind of game is this, Perry?
Well, it's called Ninja Combat. So I'm going to guess it's one of those classic Neo Geo shmups.
It actually looks a little bit like a side-scrolling beat-em-up.
I think that's what it is.
It's not a sport
I think
game.
that's what it is.
$7.99, the old hamster price. Now, real quick aside, I don't know if this is a new update or it's something I just never noticed before, but you can actually go up to the publisher and you can see what other games they've released on the Switch.
Oh, that's cool. Is that on that new update?
I don't-
That they just got yesterday?
If
Yeah,
it
there's a
automatically
eShop
updated
update.
it, it's because I was looking and I was
You
like,
didn't hear about that?
no, I heard about it. I just,
Oh,
if it
okay.
I didn't.
You didn't know
No.
if the publisher thing was there before, yeah.
But no, that's
cool.
pretty sweet. Hamster has got 84 games on the
Heck
Switch.
yeah. That's amazing.
But yes.
Cool. Alex, what's our next game?
Our next one is Mila Noir. It is inspired by the Italian crime flicks of the 70s, revered by Quentin Tarantino. That's kind of a deep, like, you don't choose an Italian filmmaker, you choose Quentin Tarantino, who likes Italian films, and even then, the veracity of that I slightly question. But it
I almost
looks
appreciate it though, you know?
I like the sort of cover art. It looks like one of those sort of Z movie action movies that you'd see like maybe like Red Letter Media, I think would review these kinds of things. It looks like not remotely what you think it would. Like it's kind of a top-down beat 'em uppy something.
Yeah.
It's pixel-packed action game. It is very pixely. But it's not like pixely in a Hotline Miami way, but kind of in a wackier. It reminds me of something Tiny Build would put out, actually.
Yeah. We have a James Jones reviewed this for the NWR.
Did he give it a 6?
So-
I bet he gave it a 6.
He gave it a 5.
Oh, poor
So,
game.
if you want to read more about that, check it out there. But let's move on to our next game, Songbringer, which I was going to talk about on today's episode, but we ran out of time. So you will hear more about it next week. It is $19.99. It's a really cool game. If you're anxious to check it out, check that out. But next up we have
World Soccer
baby.
Pinball
Oh,
for
yeah.
$1.99. Again,
Alex's favorite game.
Yeah.
I
It's World Soccer Pinball. Yeah.
I'm looking at the screenshots here, and we've got the same screenshot twice where the logo is moved down like a half an inch. That's the only difference. But yes, another pinball game, another standalone
amazing.
pinball game here. If you like soccer and you like pinball, then World Soccer Pinball might just be for you.
All right. But what's this next game we have? This really seems up Alex's alley by the screenshot.
Well, I
by the
developed
cover
it,
art.
actually.
Ah.
Oh, it's the Jimmy Price. I see a Jimmy Price.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Just $5. What is it, Alex?
So my game is called Pure Electric Love. What Do You Want, Eri Kitami? And it is kind of like a love likeness pseudo talk game, if you know what I'm talking about. Like I think Nintendo put out a couple of those last year. Electric Love that is a topic like the smartphone. It's a little embarrassing in a conversation that pounding romance skill up. Eri Kitami started modeling activities from the age of 16. That's our hero, known as Eri. Fetish cosplay year, free model, birthday November 26th, blood type O type, hobby survival game shooting, fighter horn blowing. Romance pseudo talk game in this work. Fetish cosplay.
Okay, that's enough, Alex. All right.
So no, I was
Thank you.
just
We
trying
got
to give
it.
you. I was just trying to give you a little Nintendo Direct style
Enough
overview.
pimping your game.
So
we'll all buy it. It's $5. We get it.
So it's
You're
a game.
a pervert. Let's move on.
I'm an artist.
Same diff.
I didn't develop this game. But
Potato,
it is one of
potato.
it's one of these live action games that I'm not convinced it's actually translated because all of the screenshots are in a language that is not my own. And
As my good friend Aaron says, potato, tomato.
I see a picture of her making a shush and receiving a call. She's in some latex. She seems like a very pretty.
All right,
pretty
next
young woman.
up, we have
It looks
Lost
great.
Sea. I bet you think it looks great. It's your own darn game.
I think you should all buy it.
I think
this episode
Perry's
is
already
sponsored
downloading
by Eri Kitami. Promo code Alex. Promo code Rogan. Actually, go ahead. Nothing.
But our next game is Lost Sea. You gotta get this roundup going. We got some predictions to make. For $9.99, and this looks like an interesting game. And that's all I got.
Is that all you got? We're going. All right.
That's all I got.
Looks like Borderlands, but top down.
Moving along here, we've got Smoke
Sure.
and Sacrifice for $19.99. Now this right here is an RPG adventure game, and it's from Curve Digital, and it looks. I like the art style, and yeah, we'll go with that. We're going brisk now. Alex has used all of
and
our allotted time on that last
There's a
wonderful
really
game.
good score. Yeah, there's a really good a good score on our site for this game, for Smoke and Sacrifice. Check out the review at NintendoReport.com. Anyway, next up, we have a game that I think I had this when I was little. Is it Caveman Ninja? But isn't this like Joe and Mac or something?
Yeah, I believe so.
For $7.99, so this is the Johnny Turbo's Arcade, the old port thing they bring out. But yeah, Caveman Ninja, $7.99. Check it out.
Moving right along, we have a game we talked about a minute ago. That is Just Shapes and Beats. I have this downloaded, so I don't know, but I think it's $19.99 if I remember
is,
correctly.
yep.
And
It sure is.
yeah, I think we talked about that. What do we got next here, Alex?
We got Icy by XD Network. It is sort of a side-scrolling 2D side-scrolling beat 'em up. It was a relatively popular game on Steam, well regarded. I hear good things about the Switch
Awards?
version. Yeah, I have it.
Mentions the Game
Haven't
Awards
played
on
it.
its logo.
So
Oh, you have it?
I have it, but have not on Switch. I have it on Steam, but have not played it.
Right.
But it seems cool. I think that's one of the ones
I
that
think-
people should look into.
I think the sentence, but I have not played it, should always go after I have it on Steam.
Yeah.
Or it usually does.
Oh,
Yeah.
one time I
So.
got roped into the summer sale, and I barely played any of those games.
Yep. Big old Jimmy. But next up, we have West of Loathing.
Speaking
an
of
RPG.
Jimmys.
Yeah, for $11, which is a really funny price. This is a RPG that I'm very interested in, and I've heard nothing but good things from everyone who's played it. Alex, have you played it?
No. Although this one was also well regarded on Steam, but I haven't played it.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, from what I hear, it's a very comical game, and I remember Neil having trouble trying to describe it without spoiling what makes it great. But yeah, I also heard very good things.
Well, moving on, I think we have one of the most expensive games on the eShop, but it's a bundle.
And it's a game Alex was playing.
Yeah, I played this one, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. It is an Arc System fighting game that combines players from Ruby and Blaze Blue and the Persona 4 Arena and one other series that I'm trying to figure out right now, but that's beside the point. We got to move on. Anyways, I played a little bit of it because I'm big into the Persona. It is a very nice, accessible fighting game, well reviewed, and from my few minutes that I've spent with it so far, I think it plays very, very well. So
Have you played it on Switch?
I'm playing it on Switch. Well, not literally
cool.
right now, but I've only played it in handheld mode, and it seems to run quite well. And it reminds me a lot of Fighter Z. So there you go.
Giddy up.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker. This is from Wales Interactive,
It's
which we've
Deeker.
covered their games. Or
I know.
It's another live action one.
With you.
Yeah. Have you seen these games, Alex?
No.
So there's the Bunker, which is like an FMV adventure game, and then there is Late Shift, which is from the same people, where it's more like an interactive movie, less adventure game. And then there's this game, The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker, which I haven't got to play yet. I have it, and I can't wait to play through it. But yeah, I've heard it's really trippy.
Cool.
Justin Nation was telling me about it. So.
All right, moving right along, we've got Happy Birthdays for $39.99. That is an expensive little price there. This is I'm looking at it. It sort of looks like a Minecrafty simulation kind of game. It's got like that sort of the blocky area, but then you've got like these big old dinosaurs that are not blocks, but interesting.
I believe John Rairdon's doing the review on the site. I believe so.
Your guess is as good as mine.
All right. Well, we can move to the last game here,
Oh yeah.
which is Alex's favorite. I didn't realize this is already out.
Yeah, Shaq Fu. It's a beat 'em up. It hasn't been received very well so far. It's free to people who bought the NBA Playgrounds early enough before they fixed it. And yeah, I have no interest in playing this game, even though I think the premise is cool, and I really hoped it would be good because they kickstarted it, and I thought there was some eager people, some passionate people trying to make a great game, and I'm sure that is the case. But it seems like the game did not turn out so great.
Gotcha. Well, we all knew that going forward. That's okay.
All right.
There's a sequel to a crappy game already.
Whoa!
Apparently.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Don't talk about
Casey,
Shaq.
I got you that game for Christmas, remember?
I know. I play it every day.
Did you know, Alex, that I got Casey Shaq Fu for Christmas
No.
last year? Not last year, the year before.
And I
know,
played every
I know.
day.
I know. You're just waiting for my Christmas gift, for Alex, for this year.
I'm waiting.
It's gonna be just as good. I promise you that. But that's gonna do it for the eShop Roundup. And we are going to we don't really have any news this week, because it's like the pre-E3 stuff.
Yeah,
And
I mean, there's some rumors and stuff to probably chat a little bit about, but I figured those are going to sort of be covered while we're doing predictions anyway, so...
Yeah, exactly. So, let's move into our big E3 Predictions Extravaganza.
Alrighty, so how predictions are going to work, sort of similar to how last year's went, I believe. We're going to start out with the closest to the pin category, which gives us 1 point each, and we've got a couple, 5 listed here that are just sort of, for instance, I'll give one as an example. It's pretty standard thing we'd be guessing about anyway. Smash release date, and we'll each give our release date that we think it'll be coming out on, and then whoever's closest will get that point. And in the case of a tie, if 2 people do the same date, they would both get those points. That's how that's going to work for round 1 here. Then we're going to break into the more personalized guesses with 9 total. We're going to do 3 bronze, which will be worth 1 point each, 3 silver, which will be 2 points each, and 3 golds that will be worth 3 points each. Now, obviously, we can't just be like, oh, hey, Fortnite's going to come out to the Switch. That's my gold prediction for 3 points. yeah, obviously we're going to be doing bronze are going to be the more obvious ones, and the golds are going to be more of our pipe dreams, if you will. Now, we're going to save all of these, and we're tallying them up next week after the direct and all that, and we will see who reigns supreme. Now, I believe Perry was the big fat loser last year, and I believe he plans...
Put the weight joke in there. I know I'm a little overweight, but I just didn't think you had to...
I need to turn the knife while I can, Perry.
All right.
But yeah, we're going to be doing that to see who has the most points. Now, we have a little agreement here where the loser, and this will exclude Alex from this pain of...
I don't want to exclude him.
I mean,
though.
unless if
I
he
want
wants
him
to join
fall
in. He could listen to what the losing... what word am I looking
Party
for?
member.
Yeah, the losing party member has to do. And why don't you explain that, Perry?
Well, did we officially agree? Okay, so the loser has to stream 30 minutes of a game of the winner's choosing, right? Is that what we're doing?
I thought you wanted to do the review.
Or that.
We'll leave a
maybe
choice.
Hey, what if we did a Twitter poll?
Oh, I like that idea. Yeah, the loser.
Yeah. So either like a half hour of a stupid game stream
while
recording,
enjoying a delicious beverage of the other person's choice.
meaning a Pepsi or a Coke.
I can't wait till you send me that picture of you purchasing a pack of Pepsis.
Oh, no packs. I will purchase one can of Pepsi. And then, or we'll do a review of an old stupid game. Like, I thought it'd be really funny to do like just one of those funny licensed games from like a GameCube and do a video review on it for NWRTV. And I thought that'd be really funny. So we'll put that up and we'll have you decide, the listeners.
Yes, I like that idea.
It'll be great. Yeah. And so, Alex, are you in?
I would be, but I don't have a capture card.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
All right.
What a loser.
You're in spirit then.
All right.
You just vote for Perry
I'll send you my
Stream.
capture card. You need a capture card. What are you doing?
I know. I need to enter the future. What's a shame is that I actually have a relatively strong PC that can handle a capture card quite handily. But as I spent the money on the personal computer, I ran out of money for one of the main things I got it for.
I hear you.
That's why I haven't used a webcam on Nintendo News Report for more than like 3 or 4 of the last 20 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Well, I'm ready to start with round 1, which is closest to the pin. Okay. So, Casey, why don't you start us off with the first question that we're all going to answer, and then I can type in all the answers.
All right, perfect.
Onto the doc.
All right, so how many new games will be announced? Now, when we say new games, this means not like Smash Brothers that we know about, not a Yoshi that we already know about, but brand new games that we have yet to hear about for the Switch.
First party
so I'm gonna go
or
first.
indie? Do we count indie games through a thing?
I think this should be...
Do you think... I would say...
I'd say
how many
first
new
slash
games
third
are
party.
announced for the Switch? Yeah, first slash third party.
Okay.
New games announced for the Switch on the Direct. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, I'm gonna go first, and I'm going to say 5. I'm saying 5 new games.
All right.
I'm worried because they made so many announcements last year. that
Oh,
haven't
I
come
know.
out
Yeah,
yet,
there's...
so-
yeah, I know,
but-
a million.
Yeah. Casey, what are you thinking?
So you went 5. I'll go 7. Lucky number 7.
All right. Alex?
I will go 10.
All right. Beautiful. Moving on to yeah, I mean that's a lot. Now we're playing just closest, so even if you go over, that's still fine. No Price is Right rules. All right, here we go. Number 2. How many amiibo are going to be announced? 0 is a perfectly fine answer. Alex, we'll have you go first.
2.
2, all right. And I'm going to guess. 3. No, I'm guessing 2. I'm guessing 2 as well.
Guys, there's going to be 2 Fire Emblem amiibos alone announced. And that's not even including all the Smash ones. Now, here's the thing. They're going to probably be... I'm trying to think how many new Smash characters.
Man.
And they're going...
Do you think they're going to do amiibo for Smash again?
I think they will absolutely do amiibo for new Smash characters. I don't know if they'll do a full line. So I'm going to say... Let's say 5 new amiibo shown off.
All right.
But they're also...
All right.
They're going to mention more, but they will show 5 new ones.
All right. All right, Alex, why don't you lead us to our third question, even though it says number 2.
Sure. We're doing the Smash release date for Super Smash Brothers on Switch. And you know what? I'm going to ask you first, Casey. What do you think it's going to be?
Oh, man. See, now, this is it actually sort of goes back to one of my predictions last year, was that Animal Crossing would be coming out alongside the September online feature, right? I don't think I hate to say it, but I don't think Animal Crossing's coming out anymore this year. And
Yeah.
so now here's the question. Are they ballsy enough to do Smash Brothers in September alongside the online service? I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be unprecedented. I believe Smash for 3DS came out in September. Might have been October. Might have been early October.
I think it was September.
Yeah,
I think it
3DS
was
one was.
September. and then October was the
This is tough. I think I'm gonna go Smash Brothers for the Switch, October 26th.
That's exactly what I was going to
Well,
say.
because I was trying to... It's like, I don't think it's September, and it seems like the end of October is like Nintendo's new sweet spot, you know?
Right, and I was pegging it for the Super Mario like what they did last year.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I was like, maybe the 19th, but I'm going to say the 26th.
All right.
And remember, you can totally guess that one as well, if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to do the 27th.
What a Jimmy. On a Saturday?
Yep.
Boy's gone crazy. He's giving a point away.
That's right.
I am...
Alex?
Yeah.
The
I'm gonna
28th.
Go,
Let's go down the line.
I will, except not that 28th. I'm going to go with September 28th, which is a Friday, because I don't think it's going to launch with the service, but I do think it will launch a couple weeks after the service.
Hey, I hope
But-
it's the 28th, man. That'd be awesome.
At the 28th, that also gives me all of the dates before the 28th because of the way you guessed.
That's right. Exactly.
Well, but
Wait.
that doesn't matter because I'm hitting it right on the schnaz.
Yep. We'll see about that. All right. Question number 4. How many times will the word Joy-Con be said on the Direct? Now, this could be Joy-Con or Joy-Cons, right? We're not just doing a singular Joy-Con. Okay. All right. This is just for fun. This is a little random. Not so much skill, unless, Casey's been calculating this all day at work. Let's see if they do this and then they put this there. I'm going to say 6. Alex?
I'm going to say 10.
10.
You know what, boys? I'll split the middle. Or the difference, I should say. Give me 8.
8. There you go. All right. Beautiful. Makes it simple.
All right.
But what happens when it's 7? Then me and Casey both get a point.
Yep. Now, next up here, how many new IPs, if any, will be announced?
We're not counting indie games, right?
Nope, this is Nintendo, like, first party.
First parties.
Gotcha.
Or
Yep.
or it could be a third party brand new IP announced during Nintendo's Direct.
that is
Has to be
for
during-
Nintendo. So it would be like Octopath Traveler.
Yeah,
type
that
deal.
kind of. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it has to be announced during the actual direct. Okay, so that's the
Gotcha.
idea. And yeah, third party or first party.
Gotcha. All right.
So Casey,
how
many new IPs?
I'm gonna say 3.
Wow.
Because my rationale being that all those third parties jumping on board got some new stuff cooked up, and then plus one Nintendo new IP.
I'm gonna say 2. Because that's what I'm thinking. Alex, what are you saying?
I'm gonna say 0.
Woo!
All right.
Alrighty. Good thing you're not going to be in this bet, man. I'm just,
We'll see.
I'm just kidding.
Alex, you should have said 1.
No, yeah, that would have counted for 0 also. But I'm not playing strategically. I'm playing earnestly.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, Alex, why don't you do our last question here?
All right. How long will the official video be? And I haven't answered first lately, so I'm gonna answer first this time.
Yep.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be 24 minutes long because it's only covering 2018 video games.
Wow, 24 minutes and how many seconds?
I'm gonna say 12. I'll do
right.
24 and then half of 24.
Okay. If it is indeed 2412, your uncle does work at Nintendo.
He is, yeah.
Jack
All right.
Nintendo. Yeah.
Yep. Casey, what are you thinking?
Alrighty, I think it's going to be a little bit longer than that for sure. I'm going to go 41:37.
All right. That sounds good to me. I like that. That's a really good.
So you're like
I'm tempted to say-
41:36?
I'm so tempted to either do 36 or 38. You know what I mean? Because that would be.
By all means, Jim Bob.
Okay. This is what I'm thinking. From the get go, I was thinking 38. I'm gonna say 38 minutes and 49 seconds.
All right. I like that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. I'll give you a fighting chance. Because it's like, if I'm going to do that, I might as well just do 41, 36.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a few minutes to, I'm a champ. Anyway,
Now we get to
beautiful.
the good stuff.
So that was our 6 all questions that will guarantee us all points, no matter what. Actually, we'll probably find a way to get no points.
Yeah, somehow we all
That's
lose.
what I'm. Well, definitely Casey will get all the points, is what I'm trying to say. I will be losing. But now we're getting to our bronze, silver, gold predictions. We're going to start with our bronze. Alex, do you want to go first, since you're the fun little guest?
Sure, I'm the fun little
The old
guest.
fun little guest.
Am I reading all 3 to be more considerate of time?
Oh, no.
All right.
No. Let's just go through one by one.
All right. I'm going to say the Splatoon Octo expansion will be dated, but it won't come out on June 12th.
All right.
Really? Isn't it already announced?
No, I don't think so. I looked and I didn't see
I think it's
anything.
just summer, or like yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they had an exact date yet.
Yeah, I looked on the eShop and it said March 8th, which I'm guessing is not accurate.
Yeah, I hope not.
Oh, interesting. All right, so you're saying Splatoon, the Octo is going to be...
I'm just saying it's going to be announced for a release date, but the release date won't be June 12th. Like, it won't be it's out now.
Right.
Because they said summer, and June 12th I don't think is technically summer yet.
Yeah, I think it's
All right,
I think it's the 20-something, first 20, the summer solstice, whatever the heck that is.
Yeah.
22nd. Okay, well then I'm going to go into my first bronze, which is, I think Retro's new game will have an amiibo.
Ooh, all right.
That's kind of bold, but all right.
I know it is kind of bold, but then I was thinking, if it is Star Fox, which apparently it is, Miyamoto has been talking about that dang R-Wing amiibo, and what a perfect time to release that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to put that down. So, Casey, that leads us to our first, or to your first bronze.
My first bronze here is that Diablo 3 will be officially announced and will release in July.
Oh, wow. And you saw that thing today.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Then they also confirmed that they will be working on a new Diablo project, which is amazing because I feel like Diablo is sort of their stepchild at this point. You know what I mean? It's like they've got their Overwatch, their Hearthstone, and all that. You know, WoW's still kicking, and Diablo 3, I feel like when it launched was a little rough. It's much better now than it was when it launched, but
Sure.
Diablo, man, one of my favorite franchises of all time. Super stoked for a new project, and you know what? I'd double dip on something I normally would not double dip on. I'd buy that for Switch.
Wonderful. Okay, Alex, what's your second bronze prediction?
Yes. Yokai Watch 3 will be announced during Treehouse Live for a Western 3DS release this fall.
All right.
I like
Yokai
it.
Watch 3 this fall. Yeah.
For 3DS.
Yep.
Sounds good. I like that prediction. Good job.
Thank you.
You have won the prediction.
Thanks.
Yep. All right. I'm going to go with my next one. Now, this one is, yeah, I mean, I think we talked about this, but bronze predictions are hard. All these predictions I've had a tough time with, but just to let you know. I'm going to guess that Fortnite is going to come out. That's not the prediction because it is coming. But I think that it's going to be like way, way sooner than anyone thought. Like possibly on the day of or like in the next month.
I like that. I think Casey and I both included Fortnite ones, and then we were like, nah, it's too obvious. We got to take it away. And then you swoop in with our backup one that we both didn't use.
That's so amazing. I know. I'm looking.
I like that too.
I'm looking at my sticky note. I'm like, oh, Fortnite Switch was the first thing I wrote down. Let me cross that off. And then Perry's like, I'll take the guaranteed.
That's a good
Punto.
idea, guys.
I said it's going to be released in the next month after E3. You
Yeah,
think
because
that's a guarantee?
there was the update
I think
revealed
so.
today.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna come out next fall.
Well, Casey, you're drinking that Coca-Cola, and that's that. So, Casey, what's your next bronze prediction?
This bronze prediction actually goes against everything Alex just said about Yokai Watch. Although, did you say that was during the actual direct?
No, I said during Treehouse Live.
Oh, okay, then
It's
never
a
mind.
3DS game.
Then you could still very well be alive here. I think that there will be no mention of the 3DS at all on the actual direct.
Okay. All right.
They'll
Sounds
save
good.
that stuff for the Treehouse. But yeah, I don't think they will mention the Switch ones. I mean, excuse me, the 3DS ones. Nope, you said the Switch.
Gotcha. So if they say 3DS, then
I get no
you're
point.
You don't get the point. Gotcha. Okay, that's a good prediction. That's an easy prediction. All right.
Coming from the guy who
Alex?
just said Fortnite.
In the next month.
Ooh.
Do you really think it's coming out in the next month?
I think it's coming out on June 12th.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty obvious. It's either going to come out then or like a week after.
Yeah,
Because
I think
the update rumor went out today. So it wasn't even a rumor.
Whatever.
It was an update, but got pushed. But okay, yeah.
All right, fine.
You can
But I'm
have
not
it. I mean,
changing.
you're going to need the points.
Yeah, we're giving it
so
to you,
might-
Perry.
Oh man, I need it so bad. But Alec, what's your last bronze prediction?
Fire Emblem is coming in early December 2018. It is. I'll even give you a date looking at this calendar. Friday, December 7th, 2018.
Okay, wow. I hope you're right. 3028. All right, wonderful. I like that, Alex. I think Fire Emblem on Switch is going to be a great thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like it's going to be perfect to put on the screen and on the go. All right, and then I guess it's my last prediction for bronze, which is
sir.
there are going to be new Joy-Cons announced on the thing. That could be colors, that could be a change. like
you want your D-pad one, I know.
D-pad. I do want the D-pad. I was thinking like peach, pink, pink Joy-Cons for the girls. There aren't no pink ones. There aren't any pink ones. Sorry. Yeah. So that's my prediction. New Joy-Cons of any sort.
Alrighty.
Help me. I'll take anything I can get. Okay. And then, Casey, your last bronze.
My last bronze one here, another third party chiming in for another Switch release here. And I've got Fallout coming to the Switch. Now, here's the thing. I didn't mark down if it was 3 or 4. And that's what I'm trying to do. So you'll give me the blanket of a Fallout game coming to the Switch.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
I think you can have the series.
Sure.
Because it's like I'm so
if you
torn.
give me the Fortnite, I'll give you
because 4 makes more sense, I feel like, but I feel like of any of the rumors we've heard floating around, it seems like it might be 3, so but yeah, I think Fallout, especially with the way Bethesda and Nintendo have been, simpatico this last year and change.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will see a Fallout game for the Switch.
Oh, absolutely. But is that going to be announced during the Direct?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Okay.
Because it might not.
Because it has to be announced during the Direct.
Yeah, no.
This is all.
I don't. Well, unless if it's specified, because we've got one of the Treehouse Lives for Alex's Yokai Watch.
Yeah.
Which I think works well. But yes, no, I think this will be a direct announcement. It'll be one of those, like, it might not get like a full 3-4 minute discussion, but it might be one of those, you know, pop off moments.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, that's it for the bronze. Woo! But those are 1-pointers. Now it's getting to the 2-pointers.
Yeah.
And I think we've all. I like our bronze things predictions so far. I think they're all pretty fair. And the silver is, it's just kind of hard, right?
Yeah.
This was a hard thing for me to do, like to really come up with stuff. Because sometimes I feel like they could be in any of these categories. But Alex, you're starting us off because you're our little guest.
I'm your little itty bitty guest boy.
You little baby.
There's a baby boy.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I know they announced this, but I still think this is a valid prediction. No 2019 games will be shown whatsoever during the Direct, unless, and I have this little asterisk, Fire Emblem gets pushed to very early 2019, which means we're not going to see Metroid, we're not going to see Bayonetta, we're not going to see anything else that's 2019 whatsoever.
So no Prime 4 this year, you mean?
No Prime 4 this year. Oh, now in development. Yeah, they made that thing in 9 months.
Yeah, that's a good one.
2019
I like it.
Games.
No 2019 games, which I think even though they said it'll focus on 2018 games, I still think that's a valid prediction.
All right, interesting. All right, Casey, what do you think about that prediction?
I think I don't know. It's tough. I know they said 2018 only. I think we see something. It might even be something that it might not say, "Hey, this is 2019," but although I guess they would have to, because if they didn't put a date, everyone would just assume. I say we do, but it wouldn't shock me if we didn't. That's why I like that bet. I like it.
Yeah, nice.
All right, so my first silver prediction. I'm so torn. And you guys, I guess you guys can let me know if this isn't fair. I was gonna say a new WarioWare or Rhythm Heaven game, but if that's too vague, I can pick one.
I think Nintendo will release a game this year. Book it up.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you know what? You're giving me the Fallout window. I can give you that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I just think now there's the WarioWare Gold, and it could be even like a port of that, you know what I mean? Like, or just a new WarioWare. The idea. They have released WarioWare games close to each other before, so. But yeah, and then like the Rhythm Heaven would be amazing on Switch, so.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because this was a tentative prediction I had written down, which I will not be using. But I did have written down WarioWare Gold would be coming to Switch and 3DS, sort of similar to Sushi Striker. But I was looking, and I'm
Yes.
pretty sure there are a bunch of touchscreen things that would work much better with the stylus. So that's why I've decided to nix that one. And I'm going to go with the announcement of a new Mario Party game for the Switch that will be coming out around the holidays. They're going to want to have another big, I don't want to say big. I mean, Mario Party games are big. I know they've sort of lost the cachet they've once had with some recent releases. But I feel like Switch is firing on all cylinders, very party-centric, games and multiplayer, this, that, and the other thing. I think Mario Party would do well, and its second holiday could be something that could attract the younger crowd as well. So I think that seems like it could be a good time for a Mario Party game.
And I'm going to piggyback on you now because I had the same exact prediction for my silver.
You dang copier.
Sorry. No, I have it in my notes.
No.
For all those exact same reasons. You copied me. But Alex.
Yeah.
What's your next silver?
No Animal Crossing.
No Animal Crossing.
That's the saddest prediction I've ever heard because I think it's right.
I think there's just too many games this year. A great amount of games, but also I think Yoshi's coming out. I think Fire Emblem's coming out. I think we got
whatever
Smash and
happened to
Pokemon.
Yoshi,
I think it's going to be October
know.
probably.
Yeah. I know. And then Yoshi and
I know there's.
good.
I'm starting
Too
to look
good.
and I'm like, man, I've got a decent amount of Nintendo predictions here. And I know there's no way they're gonna release them all, but I'll be damned if I don't guess anyway.
Yep.
And a Xenoblade 2 DLC, and we got this I think there's going to be more games that we don't know about yet that are going to be quick ports, and I don't see the room.
Yeah, it's getting crowded, which is funny because after the first year with when Nintendo released the Hounds and the big boys out, you figure like, oh no, year 2 is gonna be sort of dry, but I don't think so. But okay, moving along here now, I've got. All right, so I did that one. My next prediction here. I think that Square Enix is going to talk more about. I guess this would be a bigger moment to put into a Nintendo. This might also be during another presentation, and then maybe it's said it's coming out to Switch during the Nintendo Direct. And I'm talking about the Final Fantasy VII Remake they're going to announce is going to be coming to the Switch. I think, obviously, with Cloud coming into Smash, it just seems like it would be a good fit. I believe it's already slated to come to Xbox as well. And, so I don't see...
Is it?
I think it's a timed exclusive for Sony.
Okay.
But, I mean...
Cloud was in Smash.
We're still like 3 or 4 years from that game probably coming out. But I could see them being like, hey, it's coming...
Why? I don't understand.
Well, because they
Why are we
had to
so far?
redevelop it, basically, is my understanding,
But
because there were development issues.
It's
Weird.
Square Enix,
All right.
man. They announce things way too early. But yeah, no, I would, like I said, I could see it sort of making a notice that it's coming to the Switch, so...
Okay. Wonderful. And that's gonna be so. But you gotta. So when is that gonna be? Is that gonna be during the Direct?
Well, see, that's the thing. I think I could see it. Square Enix, they don't have their own presentation, do they?
Yeah, they do.
They do?
They have a conference, I believe, this year.
Okay, so if that's the case, it might be during that conference, but I could also see them showing off like a new trailer, like, hey, this is what the remake's looking like, and getting everyone hyped, and then like during Nintendo's Direct, it shows off another, like a smaller trailer of that, and it's saying like, hey, it's coming to the Switch, So it's like like I've seen companies do that before, So I could see
All right,
something
I'll
like
give it
that,
to you.
but it wouldn't surprise me if maybe you see that logo at the end of the Square Enix one as well.
Okay. Because I don't think that game's coming out this year.
Oh,
on
absolutely
Switch.
not. No, it's not coming out for a long time, my friend.
All right, Alex, what's your next silver?
All right. The Switch Inazuma 11 game is getting localized for the US on Switch and is coming out this fall.
Okay.
Boom.
These are some smart things here you got.
Thank you. I did put some
I like
thought
it.
into them.
Alex is
I
just-
think level
It's hard.
5 is going to be a good one for this year.
Absolutely.
Alex is gonna smoke us. Not even close. We're like, oh man. Good thing he
know.
didn't. Good thing he wasn't part of the bet. We'd both be doing this.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, because that'd still be last. But anyway, my last silver prediction is a new Mario and Luigi game for the Switch.
Ooh wee. Alrighty.
They've been very prolific, you know, and they are coming out with the one for the 3DS. Or no, that's out. No.
Yeah, no, there's another
already
one
announced a
coming.
new
Yeah,
one.
they're going to do Bowser's Inside Story. But I think that's a
That's right.
2019 game.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm gonna predict a new part Mario and Luigi for Switch.
Boom, I like it.
Yeah.
Now, I won't lie. These last 4 predictions I have are all gold level. They are all gold level, and this one's the cup runneth over into the silver zone. So
Okay.
we're gonna go with From Software, a Souls-like exclusive for the Switch. In the
LOL.
because now here's the thing. We saw that From Software, and I'm sure that could just be, I guess, the Dark Souls port. You remember when we saw that splash screen with From Software on there? But I think, yeah, I could see it. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's certainly not
absolutely.
going to come
I can
out
totally
this
see
year.
that.
But yeah, screw it, man.
Alright.
I can
We're
remember
going goldies.
Jill videotaping Alex playing Dark Souls at E3.
Yeah.
Good
I
times.
like that the parts of the game where the cut of the video missed the coolest part when I actually did the downward stab on the boss. So everyone commented on that video that I'm so bad at Dark Souls, even though I was playing a handheld
perfect.
mode with a camera in my face. I know how to play Dark Souls.
Please.
Please.
Just blame my wife, Jill. She's the one that filmed
No,
it.
she did a great job.
Anyway, all right. That was crazy, Casey. That's the craziest silver.
Like I said,
Prediction I've ever
I'm throwing
heard.
caution into the wind this year.
I can
Gotcha.
tell.
Well, our little guest Alex is gonna start our gold predictions.
Itty
These are worth
bitty
3
baby
points
boy.
each.
Yeah. Your baby boy guest says that there's gonna be a new Punch-Out game announced.
Oh, baby, I love that one.
Yeah. Yes, I would love that. And I love Punch Out. And I think it'd be cool. Are you okay? Now I just got to think. What kind of a game do you think it'll be? This doesn't have to be part of your prediction, but like, do you think it would be stay true to the original form, or like an expanded, even like maybe with like a story, like a open world-ish type thing?
It's gonna be a battle royale game. It's gonna be 100 boxers. No, I think it's gonna be like the one that Next Level Games did. I think it's just gonna be another one of those, but probably I think in the way that game was quote unquote safer, and that it took a lot of cues from the original Punch-Out game. I think this
Yeah,
one's gonna be
I loved it.
more ambitious and is gonna use a lot more. Think Mortal Kombat 9, how it retreaded a lot of ground, and then Mortal Kombat X sort of did new characters and a brand new story and all that stuff. I think it's gonna be a similar type deal where it's going to be a more ambitious Punch-Out sequel, but much in the same vein as the last one.
Awesome. I love it. All right, you ready for my first gold prediction? Are you ready for this, Casey and Alex?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm predicting Borderlands is coming to Switch.
All right.
Yeah. Now,
I mean, I feel like that feels good. I can see that happening.
here's the thing. I know. I would say the Handsome Collection is going to be coming. Like the either 2, like Borderlands 2 would probably be the one coming. So I'm just going to put Borderlands 2. Because I feel like, I mean, I couldn't say there's the franchise. I'll say Borderlands 2 is coming. And I guess, if that's cool, does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Borderlands 2, I think it's great. Came out on Vita. it would be amazing on Switch. They could do so. I mean, it's a co-op FPS RPG, drop in, drop out, perfect for Switch. Would be so fun to be able to play with your buddies, like handheld somewhere or online together. It's perfect. So anyway, yes, Borderlands 2 Switch.
Well, it's funny because you talking about that just randomly reminded me of Steep, and I wonder, remember that game? I wonder where that is, man.
Yes,
that should be my
the one
prediction.
where the sequel's, I think, already out. Isn't the sequel to Steep like already out?
I think it was like an extensive DLC kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's not my prediction. Now my Crazy Train predictions are going to continue. Now, in all fairness, this one should have been what I put as my last silver. But whatever.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say Pikmin 4 is gonna be shown off.
Oh my goodness.
I just think we remember like years ago, Sakurai, not Sakurai. Oh my God, who
Miyamoto.
was it? Yeah, Miyamoto. Jeez, I'm blanking. Who was? All right.
With Eurogamer.
Yes, it said like they were pretty close for Pikmin 4 to be, was getting close to being done.
Like they said it was done.
And it's like, okay, all right. And now Pikmin 4 isn't like obviously it's not on the level of any of the big boys, but it's still definitely got pretty popular fan base and stuff. So I could see that being like a complimentary title to some of the
most Nintendo of all Nintendo games.
Yeah.
I love the Pikmin series.
And I could see it being like the that nice compliment to Smash and Fire Emblem and stuff, and it'd be like, oh,
yes.
and then we've also have this, so.
Yes. Lost in New York. Pikmin 4, Lost in New York. Yeah. Now, that's just Pikmin 4. That's your gold prediction. That should have been silver.
I mean,
I think you should have switched the FromSoft to the Pikmin one.
I think we retcon that right now. I think that should be silver.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, let's do that.
Because if you are right on the From Software, you deserve 3.
I think he deserves more than 3.
That's an automatic winner right there.
Yeah.
But don't worry, boys. The train. That was probably my craziest prediction. I might have misplaced that one, but that's okay.
Okay. All right. Beautiful. Because it's Alex's turn now.
Yes, sir. I think the Taiko game, which is coming out in Japan in July, is going to come to the West later this year. I think that it is deserving of a gold because no Taiko games have come West except maybe one in the PS2 days.
I've always been interested in those games, and I've never. Yeah, you're right.
And because this one won't need a drum, even though I think they're selling one, I'm very interested in buying this. But I'm waiting until the Direct to decide to pre-order it because I think there's a chance that they announce it for the first time West in 10 years. This is.
Oh yeah.
I think that's gonna be a thing.
With the use of the GameCube adapter, you can use the DK bongos.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
I bet it's going to accidentally work, but I bet it's by no means going to work on purpose.
Right. Okay. So, my next prediction. Now, here's the thing. See, just hear me out. My prediction was Pikmin 4, but the reason I was going to make it gold is because I was going to take it a step further in saying that they're also going to introduce a new green and or orange Pikmin in the Direct. So it's kind of taking it to the very extensive level. So, what do you think about that, guys?
I like
what do you
it.
mean? I think that sounds good. I think
Pick one or the other color.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I'm kidding.
I'm gonna pick orange.
All right.
And if it's green, I'm gonna shoot myself. Okay, perfect. So Pikmin 4 with the orange Pikmin.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
That was one that my wife Jill thought of, and I thought that's awesome.
Oh, so you're cheating.
So. Yep. Yeah, I know. I'll get that one right, and I'll claim it as my own because I need it. I'm not playing Corey in the house again. Okay. Next one. Second to last, Casey.
Alrighty, so I've got 2 left here. And They're gold. They're golds. Now, I want to save the one that I want the most to happen for the very last, and that means this would likely nullify Perry's prediction of a new Mario and Luigi game for the Switch, because it's finally happened, Perry, and it's finally happened, Alex. 1,000-Year Door remake HD for the Switch.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, please.
I hope you prove me wrong. Please.
Just wait till I hit on all of these, like, From Software, brand new Souls, like all, like.
I know.
How did Casey know everything? They were all so stupid.
He's a witch. Burn him. All right. What did you just say? Paper Mario. Okay, Alex, we're down to your last gold prediction. Make it a good one.
All right. Should I go safe or fun? I think fun's the way to go.
Fun, since it doesn't really matter if you're right.
All right. Well, see, I was considering using the series as my sort of prediction that this would have an appearance on Switch, but I think I'll do a specific game.
Okay.
I think there's gonna be, I hope there's gonna be a Switch port of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 coming out later this year.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, the first one.
The first one, not X,
Ah.
but the first one, the really good one. That's the one I want on Switch, because I played it on Wii forever ago, and that's one game that I always wanted to go back to, but the 3DS version didn't seem like the best way to do that. So
Yeah, it's not the best. Well, it's nice because it's portable and it's 3D.
An HD portable that's clean and has
If it was
a couple
like
upgrades.
remastered, that'd be so
Yeah.
sweet.
I think
Yeah,
that'd be
absolutely.
nice. Like, they'll probably talk about the DLC, and then it's like, oh, check out this trailer. And it's go back to the Titans.
Yes.
Oh, that would be so nice.
Yeah, Alex, good job, buddy. That's a good one.
Thank you.
All right, we're down to my last one. And I'm going to say, and this isn't very exciting, and I'm sorry, but the Arkham series is coming to Switch.
Name one time that's happened before. Just kidding.
Yeah. I would love if they brought... I don't think it's possible to bring Arkham Knight, but they could do something with either like a collection of their older games. I think they had that. They had a collection on the Xbox One and PS4. Forgot what it's called. Return to Arkham.
Yeah.
That would be cool. But I just want an Arkham. That's one of my favorites. That is my favorite third-party series. Like, absolutely. So I really want it, and that's my making a prediction because I just want to talk about it and dream about it right now.
Excellent.
Yeah, I love those games so much. All right, Case.
Our last prediction.
This is the last
Our
one.
last one. The last
Yep.
last hoorah here. Now, this is a game.
Yep.
I probably want this
Super Mario
game
Brothers 1.
Yeah. HD. This is probably the game I am the most eager to see and eventually play, and it is confirmed, but not for the Switch yet, and we don't know anything about it, and that is Resident Evil 2
Remake.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Now, last year I said Resident Evil 7 was coming to the Switch, and it took nearly a year, and it came out on some weird cloud service, and it was strangeness to it, but baby,
out of nowhere,
give me the Resident Evil 2 remake, man. And now this is a total pipe dream. I don't know if it'll really come to the Switch, but even if it doesn't, this is like, if there's one reason I'm holding on to my PS4, it is definitely because of Resident Evil 2 remake. I cannot wait.
Nice. I would like that, and I hope it's not through a cloud.
Yeah, I'd much prefer a regular a regular release with a cartridge and whatnot.
Yes. Cool. Well, I think we got some pretty fun, pretty realistic, pretty crazy what are we calling these? Predictions here. So, yeah. Perfect. I am excited. I can't believe that next episode, everyone, that we'll know everything by next episode.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that crazy?
And I would have,
and even when it's recorded.
I was going to say likely the episode we haven't talked about this, but I assume would be going up next Tuesday evening at some point, or maybe Wednesday morning.
Yes, absolutely. No, yeah, it'll be, and there's probably going to be multiple episodes coming out next week. Like, there's a good chance just to talk about stuff. Maybe not, but there could be. Yeah, we can figure it out, and then we can dish out the punishments.
Yep, and I should also mention that we're both going to be doing some live streaming for over with Nintendo World Report on Nintendo World Report TV. We're going to be starting, I believe, an hour before the show starts, the direct, and then afterwards we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff throughout the day. We'll put more information as we have it up on Twitter for you guys to check out. But yeah, we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff for E3, so definitely keep an eye out for all that.
Yes, absolutely. But before we are done, we do have... I have to do this real quick. The Craigslist Roundup.
Craigslist Roundup.
Let's hear
So
you
I
brag
got-
about your good finds.
Oh, I got such a good one this week. Oh my goodness. I got the Super Mario Odyssey Switch, you know, that with the beautiful
Those deep red
Joy-Cons.
cons, yep.
Yeah, I got that with the case and the dock, and a physical copy of Lego Worlds, I think is what it's called. And then the Super Mario Odyssey is downloaded onto it. I got that all for $150.
Not too shabby.
I'm so excited because I wanted to get that. I wanted to get the Joy-Cons. Anyway, and I almost paid like $80 for the Joy-Cons at one point.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, you got them.
Anyway, yeah, so it's like, I got that, and so now I got to switch for Jill to do the Animal Crossing whenever that comes out. It'll be a long time. It's also my eShop Roundup Switch now, too. And I just downloaded Pokemon Quest. So why not? And so, yes, I'm so excited because now I also got another Switch, a Neon Switch. And my friend was gonna buy one, so we got one off Craigslist, and then he wanted the gray Joy-Cons. So I gave him my gray ones, and he gave me the colored ones. So now I just need to get the other.
You're swimming in colored
set.
cons, is what you're telling me, huh?
I am. That's what I'm telling you. So, yes, that's it for my Craigslist roundup.
Ooh-wee!
Yeah.
And that's going to bring us to the end here, but we do have some contest results here.
Yes.
Of course, we had a Twitter contest and Reddit, as well as a secret listener-only contest that Perry manned there. We will start out with the Twitter results, and it is winner of the $10 eShop card is DK, his Twitter handle at Donkey Kong Coco. And he won the $10 eShop gift card, so congratulations. What his response was for his dream game, a new Star Fox or DKC game would be amazing. And I must say, I would agree. I'd be happy with either of those.
I would say, and I really hope that DK is in the new Star Fox game, like predicted, because that's one of those bucket list things that I could just cross off. Donkey Kong in a Star Fox game. What a wonderful world that we would be living in if that was a real fact.
A whole new meaning to barrel rolls.
Yeah. Yep, just like they said back in 2013. So, all right, and then for the Craigslist, the secret Craigslist giveaway for listeners only. I warned everyone listening. If you would have just emailed me, you would have had such good odds. I got 5 emails. Only 5. So, anyway, the winner, I just wanted to say next time, I'm just saying. You had to email with "gimme that loot." That's what Casey said for the subject line. But we have John from Australia, and he said, "Hey guys, entering that listener competition, and also just wanted to say thanks for such a great podcast. Always brightens my day. Team Coke for life."
Boo.
And I'm gonna be honest, that's exactly why I picked it. Because this is my own little contest, and I can do whatever I want. Yes, Team Coke for life, indeed, John. Thank you so much for emailing. He also sent us a letter that we'll be reading probably not next week because of E3, but the next week.
Once
after.
we return
Good
to
stuff,
normalcy.
So. Yep. And speaking of returning to normalcy, Alex, thank you so much for coming on to this gigantic episode that we have.
The littlest guest for the biggest episode.
The cutest guest for the ugliest episode.
Casey, aren't you in semi-manlet territory like me? Like rocking that 5'8" territory?
Yeah, right on the border of like, if you were an inch shorter, you'd be a short person for sure.
Yeah,
it's too tall for people to feel bad for you, too short to be tall.
Yeah, but the thing
Totally.
is, I grew up incredibly small. You know, like I was like, I didn't hit 5 foot until I think junior year of high school. So I always feel way smaller than I am now. I mean, not to say that I'm, you know, like you said, like 5'7", 5'8", it's not very big, you know, but like in my mind, I'm still like 2 feet tall.
That's completely average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure. I mean, it's been 2 times, but it's always a pleasure.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
I haven't done a podcast at this length in a very, very long time, and it's fun.
I know.
And it's exhausting,
It is fun.
and it's creative, and I love it. Thank you.
And I almost thought we lost half of it.
Oh, God.
But I'm very, very glad that that's not the case.
Yeah.
Although I shouldn't say that yet.
It would have been Perry's fault again. Let's just point that out.
Oh, man.
Times Casey's lost audio, 0.
Yep. Well, shut up, Casey.
It's because I don't use a Mac. Although, granted,
Shut up.
I did for a little while.
You used a Mac. Yeah.
I've seen the ways.
And it was just fine. You haven't seen nothing. Anyway.
Alex, tell the fine people where they can find you.
Well, in 10 episodes, I'm going to be the host of Talk Nintendo Podcast, so make sure to follow at Talk Nintendo Pod on Twitter.
That's Talk Nintendo.
P-O-D.
There you go.
And Perry, what's my Twitter username gonna be in 10 episodes?
P. Burkham.
P. Burkham.
PBURKU.
No, I'm around. I do some stuff. You can follow me on Twitter at CULAFIA. That is Kulafia. You should listen to Nintendo News Report, which is available on iTunes. It's available on YouTube. We're gonna be doing one
on
this
Zune
week.
Marketplace.
And it's gonna be on Steam. You can get it on Steam. Just kidding.
Yep.
It's.
Oh, I got it on Steam. I just haven't listened to it yet.
Oh, nice. Yeah, listen to Nintendo News Report. I also do one called 3 Unprepared Men that's available on SoundCloud. I recommend people listen to that. It's me goofing with my buds, and it's in person. And that one has production value, so I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then, as I said, Kulafi on Twitter, and listen to this cool show, Talk Nintendo Podcast.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, that'll do it then, Alex. Thank you, Casey, for joining me again this week.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And we'll see you on episode 91, which will be E3 Extravaganza.
Get ready, boys. The hype train is leaving the station.
Choo-choo!
Is that a dead duck or something? The train hit the duck.
Duck hunt.
Yeah. We're leaving it on that. Unstoppable. Oh, I love mozzarella sticks, but man, are they the price per stick? It's high.
I just hope Uncle Grippy's in it.
Like, oh, there's the bird with the witch hat.
It's just shapes and beats. That's the problem.
But I was just getting trounced. Like, I absolutely trounced because...
Doesn't surprise me.
All right, Bobby. Game day is tomorrow. You're in the single vase category, so you got to pick one player to send in.
This one's pretty.
Not according to the book. If you go by the checklist, this one's perfect.
But I like how mine's a little off-center. It's got wabi-sabi.
You can't win an argument by making up words.
Wabi-sabi is an Eastern tradition, Dad. It's celebrating the beauty in what's flawed. Like the crack in the Liberty Bell or the mole on Cindy Crawford's face.
The Liberty Bell is great, but come on, if it was in a contest with a bunch of bells without cracks, it would lose.
But sometimes it's the small imperfections that make you love something even more. So what if this rose is a little too short, a little too wide? It's got more personality than those other ones.
Alrighty,